get my collar the same on both sides. I still dress like I'm
Let me see.
in 4th grade.
Oh, yeah, the other one's kind of flapped out.
Yeah, it's because I just don't want to iron. I do have this like spray that I put on my shirts instead of ironing them, like a de-wrinkle spray.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's actually pretty cool.
I don't know if it works, but the bottle says that's what it does. So I just spray it on and hope for the best, you know?
Sometimes I'll just throw it in the dryer.
That's a strategy.
Yeah, just like one of
can try
those quick dry situations that you can do. I like doing that shit. I also have cookies that my mom made and left them here if you want to try one.
Yeah, I will eat a cookie.
Yeah.
These are, I don't know, chocolate chip?
Chocolate chip. Actually, I'm not quite sure. I haven't had one yet, but she left them there this morning.
Wow, these are different.
I would try it. If it's bad, you could throw it out. I won't tell her that they're bad.
It tastes like it's like low sugar.
Yeah? That sounds like my mom.
But it's good. It doesn't have like the fake sugar taste. It just doesn't. It's not like overly sweet.
Yeah.
Which is my preference. I don't like super sweet shit.
I don't like super sweet either. But I do like a good fucking buttery ass chocolate chip cookie.
It's a good cookie.
Yeah. Okay, we're in it, dude. Now it's live. Things are working. Things are happening.
Welcome to the Vodka and Cookies podcast.
Vodka and cookies. I was thinking of renaming this to something. I had a creep on one of my episodes say, "Hey, can you make sure your toes are visible for every episode?" And I was like, "Dang, I might just call it the toes out because you can see my feet on the bottom of the fucking, you can see them there." But also that comment creeped me out, so I don't know if I'm going to call it toes out. But
Good toes, that guy.
got some solid toes.
I don't want to take my shoes off.
Yeah,
I might later after the vodka.
yeah, dude, get it. If you need another one too, let me know.
You ever put your dog in the video?
Yeah, all the time. She thought she'll get up here, but she's usually down there. It's kind of annoying because she fucking tangles up the wires and shit on the way in.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah. Tight. Sick.
Tight as fuck.
Nice. What'd you think of
Hella tight.
Hella tight? What'd you think of my buddy that was hanging out at Narbar? What'd you think of his set?
It wasn't bad.
Yeah?
Good. I mean, he's newer.
Yeah.
I think he's got like a good mentality going into it.
Yeah. That was the guy that was hanging out with me. He's only been like that was his second full weekend of just doing comedy, but he's got a good presence, I think.
For sure. Yeah, he had some decent jokes.
Yeah, and they're all like extremely heinous and terrible, but it's so funny to watch him go up there and just be like, "I fuck my dog in the ass." It's like, that's crazy.
But that's kind of how I started out, was just doing offensive one-liners because I didn't know how to write a joke yet. So I was just like, I know how to be offensive, so I'll try that.
You know what's interesting to me is that since I've hung out with him, I've shortened a lot of my jokes into one-liners because it looked so fun doing what he was doing to just like shock and awe. So I was like, I wonder if I can just shorten my jokes to be more shock and awe-y. And it seems like I was getting a lot more big like bursts and pops of laughter, and I could like roll them out better. But I was also thinking, but I do kind of like the storytelling aspect of like, this is something that's happened to me and this is another, you know what I mean? And then, but you get less laughs, but it's a more like memorable joke, I guess. I don't know.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
I've always written like really short jokes, really concise, but I think like over time they naturally kind of get a little bit longer, but I still can't do like, I've never tried to like do a story because I never know like how. I never know how to like put it together in a joke form. But maybe one day.
Yeah. I feel like I do a lot of stories. I feel like most of my shit is stories. And then I have a couple, like only recently I have a bunch of these offensive one-liners. I have one that I liked the other day. I was like, ever notice how you've never seen a homeless Asian guy with a dog?
Yes.
Yes. Because he's got to eat too, is basically what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
But that one's like offensive, but I think it's funny.
He's got to eat too is the punchline?
Well, not really. That's kind of a tag. I'll
You
just
just
say
stop?
I'll
You
just
right
stop. Be
there?
like, ever notice how you never seen an Asian homeless guy with a dog?
And then you let the audience finish the joke.
Yeah, and then they
Okay.
kind of go, "Oh, because he's eating it." Yeah.
Nice. You don't see a lot of Asian homeless guys.
You don't.
Yeah.
That could be another angle. It's just
I think you have to be in China to be a Asian homeless guy.
that might be, and that was another angle I was thinking is like I went to China, never saw an Asian homeless guy with a dog or a Chinese homeless guy with a dog. Maybe that's another way of telling it. You know, and that makes it more story like, and it makes it feel real, as opposed to just being offensive and saying Asian people that are homeless don't have dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There really is like a huge homeless issue in Austin. And it's kind of crazy because I'll go to Houston and it's not as bad,
Yeah.
but it's like Houston's so much bigger.
I think
Like, what the fuck is happening in Austin?
I think it has to do with that Arch Center. I think it's that center for homeless that's like right on 7th Street. That fucking is like the worst placement for an arch, like homeless center you could ever imagine.
That could be it. But there's also like, there's big cities that like take care of their downtown area, you know?
Yeah.
They like clean it up. They try to make it look nice.
Right.
And Austin is just like, fuck it. Shoot up heroin.
I think they need to move that fucking thing, dude. They need to move it. If they moved it, I think it would be a lot better. The thing is that how do you move it now? Nobody fucking wants it near them because then they're going to be like, well, then now we're going to be the gross place.
Yeah. Not to brag, but I went and volunteered there once and fed the hobos.
Crazy to say, not to brag on that.
Not to brag.
Sounds like you're bragging.
I'm a saint.
Yeah. How was that?
It was interesting.
Yeah.
A lot of people. Like, we probably fed like 300 or more people. It was more than I expected.
What are you feeding them?
That day, it was just like, I don't remember. There were like salads and like tacos, I think.
That sounds pretty good. Like white people tacos or like straight up?
Yeah, just like, you know, shit you buy in bulk and just throw together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was, something taco related. I was just washing dishes the whole time.
You see anything crazy?
So I didn't actually feed anyone. There were some crazy people that went in there, but there was like armed security, so they like made sure that nobody was like tripping.
Yeah, I get a little nervous around homeless people. I won't lie.
Yeah.
Because they just seem erratic. And I'm like,
I just don't think they have a right to exist, and that's really what my campaign is.
yeah. Crazy to lead with. Yeah, I fed the homeless and I helped them out, actively keeping them alive.
Yeah.
But the whole time you're like, this motherfucker shouldn't be here.
Well, that was months ago. Times have changed.
That sounds like you polluted their food and just like, I don't like.
I'll tell you what, I thought about it.
Yeah. Dude, that's crazy. Just feed the homeless just so that you can be a man on the inside and then just take them all out.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
I'm on another level.
How funny would it be to volunteer, feed the homeless, put laxative in all the food, and then just like watch as they shit all over the town?
That sounds horrible.
That's how you ruin a city right there.
That's the worst smell ever.
Just free them openly into the world and then just watch them just destroy Austin, Texas.
I would cry.
Yeah, that'd be bad. 6th Street would be like...
And nobody would clean it.
Nobody would clean it. Nobody. You'd have to wait for a rainstorm. The other day it rained a little bit downtown and it smelled like piss.
Mm-hmm.
But
It's common.
if it rains a lot, it doesn't smell like piss. There's like a Goldilocks amount of rain where it really gives a piss smell. And if it rains too much, then it actually cleans it all up and it makes it smell pretty good.
That's nice.
Mm-hmm. I also did some volunteer work in my day. The fuck, Mina? She's slapping her head on the floor. Went to the favelas.
Yep.
And I did some feeding.
In Brazil?
In Brazil, yeah.
Oh, shit. How'd that go?
Yeah, because I'm Brazilian. I don't know. I know you're Argentinian.
I'm not. Good guess, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've heard you say you're Argentinian.
No, I never said that.
You've never said that? What?
No.
No, never on stage? Never?
You're thinking of Mariano Di Vincenzo.
Oh, my God. You're so right.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like a shorter version of you.
I don't know. He looks kind of like surprised and scared all the time.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. And he has like this Jerry curl that comes down.
He looks like he's like an abused emo child.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
his father hit him.
But Argentine. What are you? What are you?
I am full black. No, I'm Mexican.
Oh, you're Mexican. Oh.
Yes, I'm Mexican and white, and that's why I'm tall.
Ah.
The white people, the Europeans.
Oh, you got that white in you.
Yep.
What kind of white?
German. As
Nice.
far as I know, it's mostly German. German, Spanish,
Your mom's white.
Native American. Yes, white
Yeah.
mother. That's why I'm Clemente. The father named me.
Yeah, yeah.
After himself.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm Brazilian. People are always like, "Oh, what the fuck?" But yeah, we did some feeding of the homeless down there.
How Brazilian are you?
My mom is Brazilian, full blown. I have a passport. I speak the language. Speak Portuguese.
I bet she's gorgeous.
She is my mom.
Not that I want to hit on your mom, but
Yeah.
Brazilian women.
I'll say this, and this usually gets everyone fired up. She teaches Pilates.
Wow, I am fired up. I am absolutely fired up right now.
People are like, "Your mom hot?" I'm like, "Nah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, she teaches Pilates," and then they're like, "You son of a bitch," and I'm like, "What the fuck?" I can't. Like, I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah, well, congrats.
well, I mean, I don't know. I didn't.
Where's
I
your
didn't
dad
do
from?
anything. My dad's he's from L.A.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's just a white guy.
White guy.
Yeah.
Very cool. You speak fluent Portuguese?
Yes. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I have a tremendous accent, but it's in there. I'm in there.
That's what's up.
I like to lean into the accent. I think it's silly to just speak a different language perfectly as a white guy, but sound like a white guy. But
Yeah,
the
yeah.
grammar and everything is perfect. And they're like, "How do you know this language so well, but your accent is atrocious?" I think it's hilarious. But my sister does the opposite. She really tries to speak authentically. You speak Spanish?
Not enough. I do enough to get by. I'm actually trying to just practice it more, so I can be fluent one day.
Duolingo?
Yeah, I'm on the Duolingo.
You got to go down there.
I've been listening to more Spanish music. I do need to go down there. I've only been to the border. I got family in El Paso, but I stopped like right on the edge.
Dude, you got to go down there. That's the move.
Yeah, I think I would clean up down there.
You probably would. You're going to be the only tall guy that looks
Yep.
like a Mexican. They're going to be like, "Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's the way to do it." You've never been?
No, I've been to like Juarez, which is like
Oh yeah, that's scary.
I've been like 2 miles into Mexico.
And you were like, "Turn back! I can't do it."
just to say, you did it because you can like if you're walking, you can like cross the bridge. I don't know if it's the same anymore because I was young back. It was like I don't know, it was like 15 years ago.
They probably won't let you do it.
Yeah, it might be different now.
I think it's very different now. But the walking, that reminds me of No Country for Old Men.
Yeah, it was just like that.
It was that bridge. Yeah.
Might have been the same bridge. I don't know.
I think it might have been the same bridge. He throws a suitcase over it.
Yeah, great movie.
That's a great movie. Great movie.
Filmed in Texas.
Filmed in Texas. What was the name of the bad guy again? That was the greatest bad guy of all time. I think he won it.
Anton Chigurh.
What's that last name?
Chigurh with the CH.
Got it.
Not an N.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted you to clarify.
Great bad guy though.
Great bad guy. Top 10. What's another amazing bad guy? You ever seen Watchmen?
I was thinking about that movie today with it's because Austin Young.
That sounds familiar.
He's a bigger comic from like Tampa. He's a door guy at Sunset Strip, but he has a really funny joke where he quotes Rorschach.
Oh yeah.
Where he's like, you think I'm trapped in here with you, but you're all trapped in here with me.
Yeah.
It's like the most iconic scene of the movie.
Oh yeah, I love that scene. You people don't seem to understand. I'm not trapped in here with you. No, you're locked in here. You're not locked in here with me. Wait, fuck. People don't seem to understand. I'm not locked in here with you. And then he starts getting pulled away. You're locked in here with me. That's the way.
Yeah,
I yell that to my friends on games a lot. Whenever someone's going off on like Marvel Rivals, it's like, "You're locked in here with me." That's the move.
Rorschach is one of your favorite villains.
No, he's not a villain. He's a good guy.
Anti-hero, I guess.
He's kind of like the cool, like, yeah, I'm a hero, but I mean, like, being a hero is lame. You know what I mean? Like one of those guys. He's kind of like Batman-esque, but not as good as Batman.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of another hero that's kind of too cool for being a good guy. You know?
The Ben Affleck Batman.
I fucking hate Ben Affleck. I think Ben Affleck sucks dick. I think he's so bad.
I liked Batman versus Superman until the end when they were like, our moms have the same name. That was such a stupid fucking dumbass storyline.
That's hilarious, actually. I don't even remember that scene, but that would piss me off.
It was like, your mom's name is Mary? And then he doesn't kill him. He was going to kill Superman.
Oh, shit.
Did we lose the recording?
I don't know.
Mclaughlin.
Yeah.
Oh, like the gun.
Mclaughlin? Yeah, there you go.
But there's no C or like K in your name.
Yeah, but I think it's just how you pronounce it.
Mclaughlin.
It's definitely not McLaughlin. I hate when people say that. Mclaughlin. Yeah, that's the way.
You should change the spelling of it.
I should just get a stage name and not do McLaughlin.
Yeah.
But I've already committed pretty hard. So I think I'm stuck.
You could do Eric No Breaks.
That'd be funny. Just blatantly fucking. That's funny.
What if it's just like 10 comics in Austin doing dice?
Yeah. That'd be actually so funny. Holy shit.
Like, what if there's like a Kill Tony episode where every bucket pool is somebody doing Timmy No Breaks?
If we somehow got all of the comics at Shakespeare's to like commit to doing that
would be amazing.
That would be so fun. And then do like a group trolling of the show. That would be so good.
If we could get together and plan like that.
Yeah. But we can't. We're all fucking pathetic.
Yeah.
And we all are thinking of ourselves. Apes together strong.
Is that a quote?
Yeah, you never seen Planet of the Apes?
I was going to say Ape Escape.
Yeah. That sounds like a great game. Ape Escape.
Yeah. Right. It was on the PlayStation 1.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I thought it was. I just made it up. But it sounds like a game.
Yeah.
Ape Escape. Back to Ben Affleck. I wasn't done.
Oh, yeah. Ben Affleck.
I fucking hate Ben Affleck because I think he's a terrible actor. Do you not agree?
He's been in a lot of good movies.
Yeah, but he's not the reason that movie is good. He's never the reason for the good movie.
I liked him in The Town.
Okay, that's an exception.
And that movie with Matt Damon where he's a genius.
Good Will Hunting?
Good Will Hunting is good.
That is, see, this is...
Pearl Harbor? He was good in Pearl Harbor.
No. Stop. No, when in The Town, yeah, I'll give you that. Pearl Harbor, a fucking potato could have acted in that movie. Dude.
What do you mean?
Dude, you could put any human man in that movie and he would have done a good job.
You're telling me you could have been Ben Affleck in Pearl Harbor?
Yes.
All right, do the lines.
You're fucking my best friend.
That was good. All right.
Was that? Right. See? Right. Did I make my point, dude?
That felt real.
Yeah, dude. Did I make my point? Dude, Good Will Hunting, Matt Damon carried that shit. Ben Affleck was a side character.
Matt Damon and that guy that killed himself, whose name I should be remembering.
Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think he killed himself. I think he was jerking off, and then they were like, we'd rather the world thinks that he killed himself.
You think he was choking himself while jerking off?
Yeah. He had a belt around his neck in the closet and his pants were down. He was whacking off.
Does that not count as killing yourself?
No, he was jerking off and then he died.
Yeah. But he killed himself still.
No.
Because that's the whole thing is like he tied a belt around his neck on purpose.
He tied a belt around his neck to jerk off to autoerotic asphyxiate. And then he accidentally did it too good and he died. That's what I think happened. You know, he was in a movie where his son was doing that and then his son died.
Whoa.
And then, but in the movie, what he did was he was like, this would be so fucking embarrassing if the world finds out that my son died from jerking off. So what he does is he puts his dick away, hides it, puts his pants back on, says that my son just hung himself, and then writes a really sweet suicide letter. And the suicide letter goes viral, and everybody in the world is like, this was the most memorable suicide letter. And then at the end of the movie, he has to tell everybody, I fucking wrote it.
And that's the sequel to Mr. Doubtfire?
That's good. No, but he, yeah, dude, I think he was jerking off. I think he was whacking.
Is that like a real theory?
That is my theory. It's my hot.
But he was found with his pants down?
His pants were down and he had a belt around his neck and he was in the closet.
Okay.
He was, dude, if you're going to kill yourself as a dude, would you do it with a belt in the closet? I don't think you would. I think that, dude, he was whacking his dick. That's what he was doing.
Yeah.
You wouldn't do that, dude. If I'm killing myself, gun to the fucking face. That's what I'm doing.
You think so?
Yeah. How would you do it?
I'd want to do something fun. Like, I feel like jumping from a high place.
That's not for me. I don't want to be scared the whole way down. I hate heights.
Yeah, I hate heights too, but it'd kind of be like fun, like a rush as you're going down, I think. I don't know. I don't think I could shoot myself.
I don't know.
That'd be too hard. I could pop a bunch of pills. I feel like I would pussy out with a gun.
The pills would be kind of sick. Like you could just, put on Transformers and just pop a bunch of pills.
Yeah. My grandma, she's dead now. Rest in peace. But at one point, she tried to commit suicide by taking a bunch of sleeping pills. And then she just slept for a long time and she was fine.
Dang. How'd you hear about that story?
Oh, she was. I was around. we actually had. I lived with her at the time, so she had wrote a note and everything. So yeah, it was legit.
It reminds me of the Doug Stanhope bit. You remember that?
About how he had to kill his mom or help his mom kill herself or whatever.
I loved that bit. I thought that joke was so good.
Stanhope, yeah.
That sounds like a fun way to go. If I was going to kill myself, I'd want to have some good buddies there. Do a weekend at Bernie's type deal.
But then you'd have so much fun that you wouldn't want to kill yourself.
Yeah, it'd be sad. But I mean, she's like, it's like you're blacking out. It's like you're at a party and you're just like, oh, we're fucking, and then you just slowly start to forget shit, and then you just black out, but you never wake up from your blackout.
Exciting. I don't want to die soon.
Oh, me either.
For the listeners.
Yeah, I'm a very happy guy.
Yeah.
But that would be a good way to go, I think.
How would how did it happen in Stanhope's joke?
His mom had cancer, and she was like, I don't want to fucking die in a bed. I'm going to just get this. So she got a bunch of morphine pills, and she took them all. And they get a bunch of alcohol. They all get fucked up. It's like Stanhope and 3 or 4 other people. And they're just partying, drinking, making jokes. At one point, they're like, Mom, they found a cure.
That's hilarious.
That's so funny, dude. And then eventually she dies. And then he made a great joke after. He's like, he goes, I have definitive proof of an afterlife. Once my mom died, how the hell did she rack up all of her credit card bills to maximum after the day she died? How did she do that? It's because, and it's basically clearly I did it. And he had to wait 5 years to tell that joke for the statute of limitations to fall off. But that's fucking hilarious.
That is hilarious.
But
oh yeah, brother.
You got to have a dying mom to make a joke like that.
Yeah, one day.
No.
Everybody dies, but not everybody truly lives.
Hell yeah. Let's get off the topic.
Death.
It's
coming.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp.
There should be a service. They have suicide pods. Sorry, we're supposed to get off the topic. They have suicide pods in like certain places, and like Canada, they have like assisted suicide and all that shit. So there should be like a DoorDash, like some sort of delivery where someone shows up to your house and like, you ready for me to kill you? And you're like, yeah, and then bam, you know.
Oh, there's a clever pun you can make with DoorDash or Uber or something. DoorDash, door. I don't know. I'm not smart enough for it. But that is a funny idea. To hire some guy to come to your house and kill you. I don't think I would do that though. I would just go out and buy a gun. It seems like it'd be really easy to do.
Yeah, it isn't. It is easy in Texas.
Yeah.
Do you own a gun?
No, I don't actually.
You
But I
gotta
grew
get
up. My parents were super liberal because like my mom's foreign and then my dad is from California, so like we never had guns. I'm okay with guns. I'm fascinated by them. I just don't feel the need to own one.
Yeah.
It's like, what am I going to do? It's just going to be sitting doing nothing. I'll spend $500 to just have a gun in the house to do nothing with,
Yeah.
except tempt me every day.
That's what I do.
Do you have guns?
Yeah, I'm not tempted though.
How many guns do you have?
I just have one right now, but I wanna start a collection.
What kind?
I got a Ruger 45
Why'd you land on that one?
because I thought it was like the coolest pistol when I walked into the gun store. So it's a big ass pistol.
You got it ready to go for home defense?
Oh yeah, it's loaded.
You under the pillowcase kind of guy, or like duct tape under a fucking?
No, I just leave it on my nightstand right next to my bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean no one else is there.
So it's a home defense thing,
Yeah.
and it just sits there.
Yeah, it just sits there, just waiting.
You ever go to the gun range?
I've gone a few times. Yeah.
How often?
Typically like once a year, nothing crazy.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, that does sound like it would be fun to have one. But again, like I just hate the idea of spending money and then just leaving it there.
Yeah.
Ammo's so expensive.
That's how I feel about tattoos.
Tattoos is the biggest waste of money. Do you have any tattoos?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna talk shit. I think people are wasting money, time, and resources on tattoos. And it really bothers me. And the more someone has, the more I think like, wow, you have no concept of where like you should be investing your time. That's a really harsh critique on a lot of people.
But it looks cool.
Exactly. And it's like, that's not for you. You're doing it to look cool. And that's lame. You know what I mean? That's lame. You shouldn't be like, oh, I want to look cool.
Yeah. I'll probably never get tattoos, but I like the idea of having like a sleeve. I think it'd be cool. Just the idea of, I think I might get like a henna tattoo and be like, look at this shit.
I also like the idea of having a sleeve.
Yeah.
I think it is a cool idea, but to invest the fucking $1,000 and the time to sit there, it's like, no, dude, I just don't. I'd rather do something else. And I think that's a normal place to live, you know?
I have a recurring dream where I get a tattoo and then in the dream I immediately regret it. And I don't know what that, I guess I'm just afraid of tattoos.
Yeah.
Like subconsciously or something.
I think you're afraid of commitment.
That could be it.
Yeah.
Thank you, therapist.
You have any girlfriends that have said that to you?
No, but I break up with all of them within the first 60 days.
Yeah. So then tracking.
That's funny. I just broke it off with somebody last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
59 days in, you're like, well, we took this one pretty far.
Well, it would have been 60 days like by July 1st. So pretty close.
What happened?
I just wasn't feeling it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I have a pretty good gauge. I think after like 4 to 6 weeks, I can usually tell like if I want to continue.
Yeah.
And so I'm just picky.
Just go on a bunch of dates, and it was just like, meh.
Yeah, went on a bunch of dates. It was cool. We had fun, but I think when I start feeling like I could go hang out with her, but I'd rather do other stuff, then I'm like,
that's a big one.
yeah, she's probably not the one then.
Yeah. Yeah. I was talking about that with the person the other day about how it's like it's surprising that people go on dates at all, considering there's so much other fun shit to do that's not on a date. Because objectively, being on a date is kind of boring. Like, it's really not that fun.
Yeah.
The fun part is if the date goes well, that's when it's fun. But to go on a date with a random person, it's like, I kind of rather do whatever else I was going to do on any given day than this shit.
Well, the date is for them.
Exactly.
The date is for the woman, always. So it's just like, you're just hanging out, being like, can I get you anything?
Like a manservant. He makes sound a butler or fucking.
You're a butler. That is how it works.
Do you want more fun? I'll buy your drinks. That's so lame, though. It's so lame. Coming from a guy. I don't date that much. I went on a date the other day, and it was pretty... But I hate that feeling. That's why I hate being on a date. It's because I feel like a butler. I'm like, I'm just sort of serving on you. And then I kind of, eventually I'm like, I'm kind of bored of this. And then I stop.
I get that. It's hard to find someone who's, like, exciting to the point to where, like, I'm willing to, like, lose time in other parts of my life.
For you.
Yeah.
But I think some people force it because they got nothing else going on in their life that they would rather do. So they go, well, then the date is better than whatever the fuck else I was going to do. And I am glad I'm not one of those people. You know what I mean? Because I can find entertainment other places by myself that's going to be more entertaining than a fucking awkward date. But I think an awkward date is the peak entertainment for a lot of people.
That's true. There are people who don't have anything going on in their lives.
Yes.
Not us. Not us two cool young bachelors.
Yeah, look at us, dude.
Just fucking recording a conversation into the
void.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Because we're so hip.
Tight. Yeah, and tattoos are gay.
Yeah, weed is tight.
Weed is tight. That's funny. Well, I was thinking if I was going to get a tattoo, it would be the NMLS number for my mortgage business on my ass. I think that'd be funny.
Because you're going to be gay?
No.
No one's going to see it.
No one will see it, but they'll be like, why do you have a bunch of numbers on your ass? And I'm like, that's my fucking mortgage business.
That was my Holocaust.
Yeah, that's my Holocaust. That's crazy. That would be a sick tattoo to have, though. My God, like in the 70s and 80s, like someone that survived the Holocaust to be like, yeah, I was there. Because it's like trauma, but it's also like, damn, you saw some shit. And that's the other thing is when tattoos started, people had them because they were going to prison. And be like, yeah, we were in prison. We were burning time. Like, I had to get a tattoo because we got nothing else fun to do. That's badass.
I think tattoos probably started before prison.
I think, sailors was like the big one.
Sailors, yeah.
I'm actually pretty good on my tattoo lore and history. Tattoos started from those people out in, I forgot the name of the country, out by Indonesia. No.
Hawaii.
You know Moa? You know the movie Moa they made?
Moana? Yeah.
Whatever that island was.
I don't know. Pacific.
Well, like English sailors would go there and they all had the tattoos, and the English sailors would be like, that's so cool. And then they started getting tattoos, and then Americans started going there and they started getting tattoos, and then it started being a sailor thing. But then when sailing kind of died down, all of them lost their jobs, started getting drunk, went to prison, then it became a prison thing, and then it became cool. And that's where we are now, it's cool.
Interesting.
Yeah. But I
think.
Yeah.
Jesus didn't have tattoos, did he?
No, I don't think so.
What if Jesus had like a Bible verse on his chest or something?
Yeah, just all the 12 disciples, just on his chest, and then Mary on top, his mom's name, but not Joseph because that dude.
Shout out Mary.
Shout out Mary.
Joseph was a regular ass dude.
Joseph was a cuck, is what it sounded like.
He wasn't really. Nobody really talked about him.
Do you think? I know, isn't that kind of sad?
Yeah, poor guy.
To be just such a massive side character that everyone's talking about, possibly Mary fuck some other guy, and
he couldn't even like ground Jesus.
Yeah,
Jesus would have just killed him.
Yeah, it's fucking Jesus.
Probably killed him, brought him back from the dead.
I'll turn your blood into wine, pussy. You'll die instantly, bitch.
There is like these books that were like around during those days, where they say they have recordings of like Jesus as a child. And I mean, it's hard to tell like what's real and what's fake, of course.
Right.
But there's like a thing where they say like Jesus like got upset at a child when he was a child, and he made the kid blind.
What?
But there's no way of like knowing if that's like
a child X-Men, like one of those dark X-Men kids. It reminds me of that guy. Fuck, what was the X-Men guy that took his Cyclops, where he takes his glasses off and he shoots a beam?
shoots lasers everywhere.
It's like him getting mad in class, and he's like, "Fuck that kid." Mm-hmm. Yeah, little evil baby Jesus.
Yeah, because there is like a period of time where like Jesus is born, and then you don't hear anything about him for like 30 years until like he's about to be like crucified and all that. But yeah, there's like theories that he like went to India and like I don't know, learned about like all their shit. So it's pretty wild.
Yeah, whatever that shit is they're doing
whatever
there.
Indians are up to.
That's it. And Mormons believe he went to fucking Missouri, which is retarded, to be honest. They think he was out there with the Indians. It's like, that's nuts.
Yeah, it is nuts.
That is crazy.
But that's similar to like the Black Israelites, you know.
I actually don't know that story.
I don't know what their origin is, but they believe that like the real Israelites are blacks, Native Americans, and like Latinos. They think all the real Israelites are anyone who's not white. So that's their whole thing is like white's the devil.
That's crazy.
Which isn't a bad theory.
White people are the devil?
Yeah.
I can get behind it.
Yeah, I think we all can.
Yeah. No, I'm white, so I'm cool with white people. But I get the hate. I do get it.
It's kind of funny though.
White people being evil?
Yeah. But I mean, like
You're not white.
I'm white enough. White people like they like invented like all the cool shit, you know? But nobody ever says that. But like, you know, like democracy, you know, Apple, TVs, radio, like all the cool shit.
Yeah, and we don't have culture is what they say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you consider yourself to be more white or more Mexican?
Well, I'm pretty split down the middle, but I don't know Spanish, so I would say I guess I'm more white in that aspect.
Have you experienced racism?
Well, yeah.
What's the biggest? What's a big moment where you were like, oh, that was fucking racist?
Just having like people like in school like try to like bully me and call me like wetback, something like a poor wetback.
Yeah,
but
but I was pretty wealthy. So.
No, I was definitely poor.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in this town called Amarillo.
Oh, I know.
Amarillo.
Yeah. Like the George Strait song.
Mm-hmm. By morning.
Amarillo by morning.
You grew up in California?
California, man, yeah. I was in the Bay, and I was there till I was about 12. Been here for 20 years. So I'm an Austinite. How long you been in Austin?
3 years.
3.
Best 3 years of my life.
Yeah, you did comedy in Amarillo?
Mm-hmm.
The fuck was that like?
Oh, it was dangerous, bro.
Really?
At times. No, it was it's just like a blue collar town. So like a lot of people didn't give a shit about comedy. So a lot of people were like didn't want to see you on stage. They wanted to do like karaoke, or they wanted to hear like the same 10 country songs. So there were times where like people like tried to fight me, which is funny.
What kind of open mic was this? Like one of the, was like you can either do karaoke, comedy, or something else?
Yeah. So the best open mic when I started was at this little coffee shop called like the 806, and it's like a really weird spot because it's a very like conservative place, but this coffee shop is like the only liberal spot in the whole town, and they have like art all over the walls with like dicks and shit. But they do like poetry and music, and then they were open to comedy. So then I started doing comedy there. But they were like the very like hypersensitive, like woke, like liberal kids.
Oh, really?
So yeah, I would.
What a crazy contrast.
It was a crazy contrast. So yeah, I did. I was just starting out. So like I said, I was trying to be like offensive, and they didn't like me. But eventually they warmed up to me.
What's a big one that you did that was like, what the fuck?
I don't remember the exact joke. I just remember the response to it because I was talking about how someone would think I was gay if I did something a certain way, and then a lady was like, "What's wrong with being gay?" And I like froze up because I was like, But in my mind, I think about like if I would have done that, I would know what to say. But yeah, I was like 3 months in, and then there was a time where I was trying to make a joke about how Hitler wasn't impressive to me.
Right.
Because I was like 6 million. That's not nearly enough Jews. But then I forgot the rest of the joke, and so I just kind of like.
So you just ended there?
Yeah, they just gasped, and then I was like, "Fuck."
How many months in was that one? That's a hard one to do with like a couple months in.
Yeah,
because you got to fucking say that with your chest.
I was taking massive swings. I was really like I was inspired by like Daniel Tosh and like Anthony Jeselnik. So I was like I was trying to be them, but with no experience.
Yeah, Daniel Tosh is. I've been listening to him a lot in the car lately. And he gets away with saying some crazy shit. But it's because he says it with so much like gusto that he can get away with it, you know?
Yeah, it's impressive.
It is impressive. It is impressive.
But yeah, that probably happened like first 6 months around then. Pretty early on. But then that was the only spot that was like liberal because the rest of the town it was like old conservative people. And they would get really upset. They were just as sensitive. Because they would like if you said something that they didn't like, then they would like, you know, try to throw shit at you or try to get you off stage or try to fight you in the parking lot.
Sounds just like a terrible place to do comedy.
Oh yeah, it's a bad place.
You got both worst ends of both spectrums.
It's gotten better since I moved away. Because when I was there, we had when I first started, it was like I was one of like maybe 3 or 4 comedians, and they were only doing shows like quarterly. They were like, we don't want to oversaturate the market. And I was like, you guys are fucking gay. So I started like, booking like monthly shows and like bringing people in from out of town and stuff.
Oversaturate is crazy.
Yeah, it is.
So you started Amarillo, and then you said you've been doing it 9 years?
8.
8?
Yeah.
So Amarillo by morning, and then where next?
Austin. Straight to Austin.
Oh, so you were there for fucking 7 years or 6 years?
I was there for
5 years.
4.
4 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in August, so I've basically been in Austin 4 years. I said 3, but I'm a month away.
So 4 years there, 4 years here.
Yeah.
So you definitely got a lot more reps here.
Yeah. I think, but there you can get as much stage time as you want. So I was doing like regularly doing 10 to 15 minutes.
Oh wow!
Like 3 times a week. So like I didn't do any sets under 10 minutes regularly.
But that was like normal here.
Yeah. But now it's like I moved here and I was like, okay, I got to figure out how to do 3 minutes.
Did that change your style at all?
Yeah, I mean it makes you cancel out a lot of the bullshit.
Yeah.
When you have 10 minutes, you can just kind of go up there and take as long as you want to say something.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, you don't have to edit as much. You don't have to be as clean's not the word I'm looking for. You don't have to be as concise or to the point.
Yeah.
So you can get away with being lazy.
Oh, sorry, this cookie.
It's all good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something that I was trying to like think about because I was like, I put like a list together of all my jokes. And I was thinking, I think all in all I have about 50. But then I Googled how many jokes are in a standard like 1 hour set. And it said like 200 or upwards of 300 jokes.
Damn, really?
That's what it said online. And I get it if you're doing like a Daniel Tosh.
They're probably counting like each individual like tag and punchline.
Probably.
Because like a comic is going to be like, this is a 5-minute joke, but that 5-minute joke that he counts as one joke is actually, like 10
A
jokes.
bunch of different jokes, yeah. Because you're laughing. I guess it was like each laugh counts as a joke. But a laugh can be as simple as even a setup. Like if it's kind of a silly setup, you can get a little chuckle. But I don't know. It throws me off because I'm like, man, how do I get more? I don't know.
But you're 2 years in?
I'm not even. I think I'm a year. I'm a year now.
Nice.
I'm a year as of last year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm still pretty new. But I've been writing and shit for a while. So I've had material that's been built up that I'm like, been using because I've been writing for 8 years or something. Like I have notes from like 2011 on my phone.
That's dope.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's really nice to have like a database to just dive into and be like, oh, that was a good idea.
Are you going to go through all of it?
I have been going through a lot of it. I'm actually kind of running out, is what I've noticed, is because I've been kind of just going through every idea that I've had in my phone for a while, and I've made videos for them. I have some that I'm like, this would be maybe a good sketch, and then I have some that I'm like, that's a good stand-up, and these are good one-liners. So I have like a good like idea of where all these are going to go. But yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out now is how to execute every idea the best way that it can be executed. You know what I mean?
So you're trying to like go through all 50 jokes that you have and just rework
Right now,
all of them?
I have 50 stand-up jokes where I'm like, this is a stand-up joke, and I know that it would work on stand-up. But then I have a bunch of other shit that is like I said, sketch. It could be other avenues. So, yeah. But I really need to try to do sketch because sketch is just a whole avenue I haven't even dived into. Have you seen like the off with their heads thing that some of those guys were doing in town?
No, what is that?
It's a sketch comedy of where they're all pretending to be like from the 1300s with like knights and queens, and they do some jokes and stuff. There was this one, Dylan Caparino. I don't know if you know him. Yeah, he has a great bit on there where he's like, "Oh my God, are you hanging out with Sir Lancelot?" And she's like, "Ew, no, that guy's a rapist." He's like, "Everybody's a rapist." I thought that was so funny. I was like, dude, that's a great.
That is funny.
Yeah. But yeah, sketches are something I need to dive more into.
Yeah, I got some good sketch ideas.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just I have the ideas. I just need someone to help film it and put it together, which worked out in the past. I just got to find there's comics who are willing to like, do all that shit. So, it's nice.
You can't film it yourself? You can't get like a camera and just get in there?
Yeah, I probably could. But
You probably just use your phone, right? I mean,
yeah, my idea was use a phone, but then I was working with Kenny Buttons. I don't know if you know him.
I do know that. Yeah.
But
He has an amazing joke I love.
he pulled out like some legit like film equipment, and I was like, oh, okay, we'll use that instead.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's solid. Yeah, he did this joke where he's like, I look like that caterpillar from A Bug's Life. That shit had me in tears because he does look like that.
It does.
Yeah. But, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. What else do you have? Any other hobbies?
Hobbies. I'm reading. I read a lot. I do. I like to go on hikes. I have a boring fucking life outside of comedy. Go to the gym often. Take a lot of vitamins. I beat off sometimes.
I do that as well.
Yeah.
Vitamins, huh?
Yep.
What kind of vitamins?
Really, I was taking like the big vitamins that everyone knows about, but then I was asking ChatGPT, what other vitamins should I be taking? So I'm taking a bunch of shit right now. I'm taking like all like the standard, like the A, B, C, D, calcium, magnesium. This stuff called maca, which is supposed to help you like sex drive or whatever. Just makes me extra horny. This stuff called ashwagandha, which I think also makes me extra horny. I don't know. Selenium.
You're taking horny
Started
pills?
taking selenium.
What does selenium do?
I have no idea, but ChatGPT said I should take it.
Why?
Because it like helps with everything else. Zinc, I take zinc.
I heard zinc is good.
Yeah, there are good things about zinc.
What the fuck is selenium? Reminds me of Head and Shoulders. That's the active ingredient.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, I'm eating it. And then the last thing I read was choline, so I'm gonna get some choline.
Choline.
Yeah.
Choline for my colon.
It's choline in that bitch.
Do you think that
I take creatine also.
if you stopped all of it right now, would you feel different?
It's hard to tell.
You could stop.
I could.
I'm wondering because, like, I don't take any, but some people swear by their vitamins, and I'm like, man, if I just like fucking ended it, you don't think even like there's not one that you started and you were like, ooh,
I've never been able to feel a difference when I take it when I don't. But I feel like it's good to take it. Even if it's like a
placebo.
Even if it might be a placebo effect, but fuck it. It can't be bad to take vitamins, I don't know. You might see me choking myself in the closet. Like that's because he took too many vitamins.
Took too many vitamins. He started jerking out with a belt around his neck.
It happens to the best of us.
To me, it just sounds like the argument of like what they would say with like laudanum doctors in like the 1700s, where they're like, just take a little bit of heroin, like you'll be.
What's laudanum?
Laudanum was heroin.
Oh, hell yeah!
But they just called it laudanum.
Yeah. Well, I think a little bit of heroin's probably good. Small dose.
I would disagree with you.
You don't think like a small, like a microdose of hair, like a little, just a smidge, just to get the effects.
I think no. I think but here's the reason why. I think that because we were given, like, dude, here's an example. I was given Vicodin when I had a tooth removed. Mm-hmm. Best week of my life, by far. Mm-hmm. And that's how I kind of feel about giving people a little bit of, like, because then people are like, oh, dude, this shit kind of gets you fucked up. It's like cough syrup. Yeah. When I was a kid, I had cough syrup. I had one spoonful, and I was like, damn, I feel pretty good. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, I was like, damn, maybe I want to go get a couple spoonfuls because that made me feel pretty awesome. Next thing you know, you're mixing it with alcohol. Like,
Did you do that?
When I was 16, 15, yeah, I did that a couple times.
Like you mix them together?
Yeah, it's lean.
No, I thought lean is just codeine and like Sprite.
Well, but codeine is like in heavy cough syrup.
Yeah, but there's not alcohol in it, is there?
I'm pretty sure there is.
Oh shit!
I'm pretty sure lean is codeine, alcohol, and then like a mixer of some kind.
I didn't know alcohol was involved.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. If it's not, then
that sounds crazy though.
Yeah.
How did that feel?
I mean, it was great, but I mean, I only did it a couple times. I didn't have a problem or anything by any means, but god damn, it feels good. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you start giving people a little bit of, but I'm not comparing selenium to fucking, you know what I'm saying? That's crazy. So,
yeah. Well, the things I'm taking are found naturally, like foods that we eat. They're found in nature.
Unlike heroin.
Heroin, though, now my thing is, I think heroin in a controlled setting, like the way people are doing ketamine, which I haven't experienced that, but they go in like a controlled setting and they do it, and it's supposed to like help with whatever the fuck trauma and shit. But I think that concept, like if you don't abuse it, I think heroin has like a purpose of like,
agreed.
If you have some shit that you don't know how to handle, I don't know, but
I agree. I do think that heroin, but I think it needs to be way controlled, like way
super regulated,
controlled, because there's going to be too many people who are like, yo, I got some heroin pills. It's got
to be like a physician thing.
Yeah, like a prescription. But even the thing is that then doctors are getting money for a prescription.
Yeah.
Our world is so fucked.
It's got to be like a thing where a doctor has to administer it, to where like you can't even take it home.
Yes, you can't even prescribe it.
Yeah.
The doctor has to actually administer. I like that. That's the best way to go. Yeah. Because that's the whole conspiracy about why we were in Afghanistan. was to seize the poppy fields.
Poppy fields, yep.
And that's exactly when the opioid epidemic happened in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You a big conspiracy guy?
Oh, yeah, I love conspiracies.
Dude, name one. I've seen your Instagram stories. You drop some fucking... you drop some wild shit, and I'm like, oh, okay.
I like to think about things.
No, yeah, drop one.
I think the guy who tried to shoot at Trump, I think that was probably CIA.
The fact that he was in a BlackRock commercial is fucking bananas.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to lie.
Insane.
That's bananas. But CIA, I think they knew he was fucked. I think they knew that he wanted to shoot him. And I think someone was like, hey, we're part of a movement to kill. I think they coerced him. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't say CIA. CIA is crazy.
MK Ultra. I mean, you know what they did with, what's his name? Charles Manson?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it was similar to that, where they would dose him, and then like kind of like try to manipulate him. Like there's theories that they've done that with like several people who were like terrorists or like mass shooters and shit. Like the Unabomber, they think was part of an MK Ultra.
I could see the Unabomber being that way,
Yeah.
but I think his manifesto kind of clearly states that he had... I don't know. That one doesn't feel as government driven. Maybe it like grew from the government doing their experiments, but then I feel like he kind of went his own way and just started being wild. Whereas this kid, my theory is they knew that kid was dangerous, isolated, and had the potential to kill somebody, and was also extremely hating Trump. So I think they probably knew like this kid is a good person that we can manipulate to do this. Mm-hmm. And then the kid's just an idiot. He's just a patsy. So I do believe that. But I don't know. Another one that I've been looking into recently, Tower 7.
Yeah.
What do you know about this?
I don't know a lot about it. I know it was supposed to be what people say is that it was a controlled demolition that was supposed to happen, right? Is that what they were saying?
That's what I've heard.
It was like a coincidence that it happened to be on 9/11.
I have heard that, yes. But I also heard that just the blowback and the fire from the two towers falling near that tower just caused it to go down, which I don't know anything about buildings, but I don't know. That one, but the other thing is how crazy is the amount of government documents that were in that fucking tower. There's a shitload of
and
government.
Allegedly that were also in the Pentagon, exactly where the Pentagon got hit.
Exactly. But then again, if you're flying a plane, because definitely there are Al-Qaeda in the plane. Mm-hmm. If you're flying a plane and you drop it into the Pentagon, are you really going to aim for the section of the Pentagon where, you know what I mean? That doesn't seem very real. But I also think that if I was Al-Qaeda and I'm with the boys and we're talking about doing a 9/11, one of the homies is going to say, what if we short the market right before we do this and make a fuckload of money? Somebody in that meeting had that idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They were smart guys.
They were smart guys. So then they go, how about not only we short the market, maybe we contact like the guy that owned the Twin Towers. He showed up to work every day for 18 years. And then on the day of 9/11, he like called in sick or some shit. Have you heard this story?
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know, it's a coincidence. And it's like, bro. But I bet Al-Qaeda probably was like, we're going to do this. They probably alerted him to get some kind of cut. And then he also, like, I bet people knew. Like, there were people that knew.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was the government. I don't think it was a false flag, though. That's where I draw the line. I don't think it was a false flag.
What is the definition of a false flag?
False flag means our government did that so that we could go into Iraq.
Okay,
we have a perfect reason to go into Iraq.
Yeah.
Kind of like Gulf of Tonkin is the big one that people do, which was that ship that got sunk outside of Vietnam. It's like, well, now that this happened, we can go into Vietnam and say it was because of that. But in reality, we did it to our own ship just so that we had an excuse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think they tried to do that with JFK. They wanted to like shoot down a civilian plane so he would declare war on Cuba.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Just sacrifice a few people and then just be like, all right, now go to war and then attack Cuba.
But there's theories about like every major attack. I mean, there's theories that Pearl Harbor was like a false flag.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, that seems too far back.
That one's too far. Because the Japanese, they had motive, they had reasons, and they were cocky. So, like, that one I don't really buy. But I can get all the ones after that because we needed a reason. Because the USSR didn't want to fuck with us, and we didn't really want to fuck with them directly. So to find a reason to fuck with, like, their auxiliary countries, like Vietnam and Cuba, that makes sense to do false flags, you know?
Yeah, it does make sense.
Yeah, it just makes sense. Cuba's, especially Cuba, because it's right fucking there, 80 miles off the coast of Florida. Like, let's figure out a way to get in there and kill and stop this shit, you know?
Yeah. Good old regime changes.
Yeah. What about RFK? What do you think about RFK?
I don't know what he's up to since he's been in there. I've kind of like stopped paying attention to him. I liked him leading up to the election. I was honestly going to vote for him. Until he dropped out. But I liked his background of being like an environmental lawyer. I liked his takes on like the COVID vaccine and like pharmaceutical companies and all that shit. So he made a lot of sense to me. But now, I have no idea what he's up to now. I know he just got rid of like some red dyes or some shit. And,
the Red 3.
Yeah, and Greg Abbott did something about labeling certain foods, artificial flavors or something.
Yeah.
So he's having like an impact, but it's like I don't know. He's not like a super crazy. He's not doing a whole lot. It's like very small things.
Yeah, I actually think he's kind of. I mean, he's a little kooky with the vaccines, but I mean, I think he's generally doing pretty good. I mean, I'm like, all right, yeah, our food sucks. Like, I do agree, our food fucking sucks.
I mean, he's a very like intelligent guy. Like, he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, but the vaccine thing, it's like, man, vaccine. I believe vaccines are important. Like,
yeah.
I'm pro-vaccine. Like, people should get vaccinated.
Well, he's not completely anti-vaccine.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Is he just against like the RNA strand vaccines, like the newer ones that don't actually have the disease, but it's just like a weird protein?
Yeah. So he spoke out against like the COVID-19 vaccines, but he's like, he doesn't have any issues with like, I mean, there are certain ingredients in certain vaccines that I think he points out, but he's not like encouraging people not to get vaccinated. Like,
right. And that's what I've heard too. Yeah. Because I think vaccines are useful. I mean, people have been doing that shit for fucking hundreds of years.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have the knowledge to even have an opinion on it, but it does seem like there's an excessive amount of times we jab infants, Like maybe some of these we don't need. Like, people are like saying, well, polio is making a comeback. Well, polio is not really like...
That's bullshit.
It's not deadly. It's not deadly like it was. Like, there's an evolution of human beings to where it's like, just like COVID's not as deadly as it was because we've adjusted to it.
People just started working against it. Yeah.
So there's like these old diseases that would have fucking destroyed a pilgrim that like will give you a slight cough.
Right. Because we've grown past it. Yeah. Did you get a vaccine for COVID?
No, I did not.
Oh, you did not?
Nope.
Were you against them when it was going on?
Yeah, I was against them for sure.
Yeah, I got vaccinated. I got vaccinated once. I did Pfizer, and I got sick like right after. Like,
I wouldn't have been against it if they said, "Hey, this doesn't." Well, they did say this. If it actually stopped the spread, like if it was like, "Hey, I won't pass it to someone," then I would have taken it. But you could still pass it to people. So I was like, why the fuck would I take it? And people are like, well, because you're going to die if you don't take it. And I'm like, no, I'm healthy. I work out. Like, I had COVID already and I was fine. So.
I mean, that's a good answer. I just sort of took it because I kind of wanted to get the card to travel.
I got a fake card.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
I got a fake card so I could go to concerts.
That's funny. What kind of concerts?
Oh, just standard like concerts because they would. I guess it depends on whoever the artist is, but some people they'd still require like you have to have your vaccine card to get into this concert. So one was like the glass animals, which I'm not even that huge of a fan of them, but it
Right.
was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna go watch them. So I got a fake card for them, and then
Is that EDM?
no, it's more like pop rock. I don't know what you call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They need cards for that? Are they outside?
No, it was indoors.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's interesting that they
It was
wanted
just
a COVID
yeah.
card.
During the Pandy Wandy, there were several concerts where it was like you may need a vaccine card. Like, it really just depended on the artist because some artists didn't give a shit, and some were like, "Oh, we're all gonna die."
Yeah, when I was going to Brazil, I needed it. That's what the big thing was. It was like, I really need a card.
How's Brazil?
It's cool. It's fucking, it's weird. Just different than here. Because you go to Brazil and it's like a sea of poor people, and then the rich people have these little condominiums they live in where they have like guns defending the walls.
Really?
Yeah. So and then you go in and then it's just like rich and white and like it's a wonderland. But then when you leave the walls, it's like, oh shit, it's scary out here. You know what I mean?
I didn't realize this until like a couple years ago, but during the slave trade, of like majority of slaves went to Brazil. Like way more slaves went to Brazil than like North America.
That's why most of like 80% of the population is black. Yeah.
Yeah, I had no idea because I was just egocentric. So I was like, oh, all the slaves came to America and we're the worst.
No, Brazil
worst
didn't
people
outlaw
ever.
slavery until 1888. That's 20 years after the Civil War.
It's a little bit later.
A little later. Yeah, they were still hitting them.
It's interesting that slavery's never ended.
Yeah, it's still got it going on in Libya.
Yeah, I mean, it's still going on in every prison in America.
Oh, yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
Well, they pay them like 2 cents an hour or some shit.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not a livable wage. But I think that is a better, better's crazy. I don't think slavery's ever going to go away.
No.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, slavery is like...
A lot of fun.
That's crazy.
Is that where you were going with that?
No, dude. Like we have, dude, I think modern slavery is what we're doing to Africa, where we're like, or like parts of China where we're like, we hang out, we have phones, we have remotes, we have cool technology, and then you go to these places out there and it's like where they're making this shit. And it's like a fucking 6-year-old kid mining for fucking cobalt in some quarry and
For sure.
the Congo. It's like, what the fuck? But it's just because there's no cameras out there. We don't care.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And it's like there's such like a diffusion of responsibility to where it's
exactly. And it's so
That's not
far
my job.
away that
Yeah.
we just don't care,
So that's like, I think about like the times in like the 1800s when there was like rampant slavery, like North versus South and all that shit, and how do people like put up with that? Well, they probably did exactly what we're doing. They probably just didn't think about it.
Yeah, they just shoved it off. They're like, it's going on far away. I don't really care. Exactly. Yeah, that would be strange to live in Boston in like the 1850s and people walking around like abolitionists, and you're like, oh, that's going on in a different world. It doesn't affect me, right?
It was the Quakers.
Yeah.
Quakers started it, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that. I don't know.
Quaker Oats.
Mm-hmm.
Love
Fun
oatmeal.
stuff.
Yeah, slavery's bad.
Yes.
That is not good.
I think it was Louis C.K.'s last special, or the one right before it. I don't know. Have you seen his more recent stuff?
Some of it, yeah.
Yeah, I saw him at the Creek, and he like opened
Really?
yeah, one of his first jokes was like, he was like, slavery was like one of the first things we did as like humans. It was like the third thing. It was like, I don't want to do it. Why don't somebody else fucking do it?
Yeah.
And it's such a funny concept because slavery was one of the first things.
It's one of the first things we do. And I think we disguise it now. We disguise slavery so well. Like even, dude, like when I was a kid and I'm working for $7 an hour, like that's still not... I mean, I'm not comparing that to what a slave went to. I don't want to give that across. But you know what I'm saying? Like it's like, here's fucking nothing. Go out and do this shit for me for my business. I mean, like if I had a slave, I'm feeding him and I'm housing him and I'm giving him. You're giving them something.
Mm-hmm.
Working for somebody is a form of that. They're giving you just a tiny bit of currency to like, okay, come here and do shit for me.
Yeah.
That's been going on for thousands of years. That's why I don't think it's ever really going to go away.
Well, like traditionally, before the New World, there was a concept of like you're in debt, so you're going to be enslaved until you pay off this debt, and then you're like free to go. But clearly that that stopped at some point.
I don't think it has at all, dude. Dude, kids go to university, $200,000 in debt. Now you got to work to pay that fucking debt off.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean? It's the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, you still have some freedom, but
you have,
but
I
see
think
the same
but
concept.
I think it's disguised freedom. You know what I mean? We have freedom in the sense that we can walk around, we can do all this stuff.
Yeah.
But in reality, there is a looming chain of you have to go out and make money to pay off the fucking debts that you have. You know what I mean? And that sucks.
Yeah, it was. I just listened to that Bernie Joe Rogan podcast, and they made a great point to where it's like we should be like the government should be incentivizing people like, hey, we need more doctors. So if you want to be a doctor, we're going to pay for your education.
Yes.
Like, why the fuck wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you want more like educated people?
But instead, it's like you're going to be a doctor. You pay us. We know you're going to make a lot of money, and then you're just going to pay back all the money that it took to get you there. Like, that's fucked.
Yeah, for
It
sure.
is fucked. It is fucked. You should get rewarded. But I also, this is crazy, but I also kind of think, oh man, is this crazy? I'm going to say it. So, you know how like a lot of Indians, Asians, foreign people that come to the United States, they end up being the doctors and the people in the United States. And I think it's because they're coming here with the mentality of where they came from. It's like you need to work every day of your life. Being a doctor is a fucking hard job. You have to go in there and you have to work every fucking day.
Yeah,
and but you're still working for a big hospital. You're a working man. You're part of you're making a shitload of money, but you're still just working for somebody else. You know what I mean? It's the highest form of a modern slavery. And is that a crazy thing to say?
So you're saying like every job where you have a boss, you're a slave.
Yes.
Interesting.
Is that a crazy thing to say?
It's not super crazy. Like I see the point you're making. But you can voluntarily quit.
That is true. But then you have to deal with your debt. And if you're a doctor, your debt is high. So you need to make a doctor's salary to pay off the debt. That's your prison, is your debt. Your prison is your debt.
It creates a mental prison.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have $300,000. Yeah, you can quit at any time, but then how the fuck are you going to pay that debt?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
For sure.
So then you're locked in. And it's like, well, I guess 10 years to become a doctor, 20 years to pay off the debt. That's a life.
Yeah.
And that sucks.
Definitely sucks.
I don't know. I don't know if that's a great point, but I do agree. I think if we need doctors, why not incentivize people to be doctors? There should be people, I don't know. But then also ChatGPT, I think could be a pretty fucking good doctor.
Probably.
I have a theory right now that ChatGPT is being paid off by the doctor association or whatever, so that when I type in symptoms in there, it's like, hey, if you've been having these symptoms for 2 days, contact a medical professional. And it's like, bitch, just tell me what he would have done.
You're saying ChatGPT is being paid?
I'm saying ChatGPT is part of a...
What do you think ChatGPT would spend money on if we paid it, if we bribed it?
Not being paid, but I
Whores.
think... What?
Oh, I said whores. Go ahead.
You mean coerced? Oh, horse?
Whores.
That's what ChatGPT wants.
Yeah, they'd buy whores.
AI, what do you want? Pussy.
Pretty simple.
It's pretty the same thing everybody else wants. What was I saying? Oh yeah, because like, dude, the other day I had a symptom, and I was like, I'm gonna go into ChatGPT and type it in.
What
It's
do
like,
you have? Share with the class.
I have a hemorrhoid, And I was
really?
like, yeah.
Damn, that sucks.
Yeah.
From sitting down too long?
Sitting and shitting too long.
Why are you shitting so long?
I like shitting. I think it's fun to sit there on my phone, dude. It's fun to just.
But your feet fall asleep, don't they?
No, man. I have good posture. I make it work.
Really?
But like, I'm sitting there. I'm on my phone. I shit for a while. Like what they say, don't do it for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm there like 30, 40. Like I'm fucking.
I mean, I poop for a while too, but I'm so like afraid of getting it. I've never had one.
Yeah, I've got.
I'm like,
I got
I
it.
stay off my phone. And I'm just like, go.
Yeah, I got it, dude. I got it. And I was like, how do I get rid of this problem? And so I put it into ChatGPT, and it was like, you should be rubbing this, and if it doesn't work after 2 days, contact a doctor. And I was like, dude, that's bullshit. It wants me to contact a doctor so that I spend money on a doctor. You know what I mean? It's not going to go away in 2 days. That's ridiculous.
Well, like, I mean, I think like getting a physician is probably always the best option.
I disagree again.
But it's going to be like, maybe not the best option, but for most people who aren't doing their own research and don't know what's wrong with them, who are the simple-minded folks,
Yeah, go to a doctor, spend $500. You know what I mean? Get your insurance to take it. And I think the reason why it does that is because I think, maybe this is my conspiracy theory, I'm pretty sure that someone is paying like for anything medical related on ChatGPT, say at the end, contact a doctor after this many days. And they do that so that they make money. I honestly, full-heartedly believe that there is something there. You know what I mean?
I don't know, but it could also just be like a thing where it's like, but hey, it should just be like the last thing that's in a statement. Like if something's wrong, get medical help. Like it's always like
Yeah, I guess
good
you're right.
advice.
I guess you're right. You're right. It is good advice to be like, hey man, you've been bleeding a while now.
Yeah. Like, hey, I'm ChatGPT. I can't look inside your ass. You may want to get someone who can.
You may want to check it out. Yeah. I guess that's true. It's just another thing because another big conspiracy I have is food and expiration dates. I think they just do that shit so that I go and buy more food.
I think they do that with medications.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
But yeah, I could see like most food. But honestly, like most of our food should go bad a lot faster than it does. Like American, like the way we put preservatives and everything.
Yes.
Like your bread shouldn't last a month. That's crazy.
That is crazy. But I don't like going to the store that much.
Yeah.
So I kind of get it, but I have had a loaf of bread in there for like a solid month, and I made a PB&J with that bitch.
Yeah, and it's fine, right?
Yeah, it's fine. But I mean, I don't know. The preservatives aren't great. If the thing is, it has to do with the way that America is structured. Like, where do you live where do you live? Like an apartment?
I'm homeless.
Are you homeless?
No, I live in an apartment, yeah.
Okay. You leaned in and I was like, you're a liar. So you live in an
You
apartment.
can tell by my body language.
But
if I would have leaned, I'm homeless.
Yeah.
Ugh.
If you fucking really were cool with it, yeah. Like, yo, bro, I'm fucking homeless, dog.
I ain't been in a house in years.
Yeah, man, I don't fuck with no.
It's my first house to be inside of.
Yeah, I don't fuck with the indoors, bro.
90-degree angles make me nervous.
Yeah, I don't fuck with being inside. What was I saying? If I lived in Europe and I was walking distance to a grocery store or some shit, then I get why, like, yeah, go to the store, pick up some food, make dinner that night.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Europe's designed like that.
I fucking love that.
Yeah.
But I live in America. So if I leave work, I have to drive to the grocery store, find parking, get out, go in the store.
The whole thing.
It's a whole fucking thing. But if I can walk in and grab a baguette and some fucking noodles and a spaghetti and say buongiorno and then leave and then
spaghetti? Is that spaghetti?
Spaghetti.
Oh, okay.
And then leave and say buongiorno on the way and it's all on the way and it's quick and easy and not a big deal. That's
When you say spaghetti, is that like one single noodle?
I guess they're like an
Spaghetti.
like an octopus versus the octopi. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, a single spaghetti. I was thinking of the sauce, marinara.
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 My great grandmother in Germany. I don't know if she's even alive anymore. Anyway, last time I was around her, she was in her like deep into her 80s, and she would just walk to the grocery store every day and just get groceries and come back and cook.
Dude, amazing.
And yeah, that's
the
dope.
way to live, dude.
It's a simple life.
Just every meal, if I could be like, yeah, I'm going to walk 3 feet that way, go to the little store, and then walk on back, and then make some dinner. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Than having to go to this like central hub. Like that sucks, dude. That sucks. That's probably one of the best things of living in New York too, is you could just anytime you're hungry, there's something around you that's happening.
Yeah.
You know, that's like New York kind of has that vibe, I would assume. But in Texas, everything's so far the fuck away from everything.
Yes.
So
You can't survive without a car here.
exactly, you need a car. Mm-hmm. And if you need a car, you need car insurance.
Yup.
And then you need an insurance company.
Gotta pay for gas.
And then you need car washes. And then you need gas stations.
Gotta go to the mechanic. My car's acting up.
Yes.
Having a car is slavery. Clip that.
Because it leads to all this other shit you need. Mm-hmm. That's really what it is. It's the car. Mm-hmm. This is why people are so worried about the car industry, I think rich people, because they understand this. They're like, if we lose the car industry in America, we're fucked. Car washes are gone. All the car accessories are gone.
What
Gas.
What would we lose the car industry to? Just like self-driving cars? Is that what the theory is?
No, but self-driving they're okay with because it's still a car. They're like, we'll lose gas. That's fine. Because they still get the gas from the fucking power company.
But you're saying if they build like bullet trains in America or something.
Yes. They don't want to build a bullet train. They don't want to build rails. Getting railed out. They don't want to do that in the United States because the moment people start riding on that, they stop buying cars. They stop buying car washes. They possibly stop going to the grocery store because they find other ways. You know, there's so much riding on cars, no pun intended, that they can't let that industry even remotely get damaged.
I don't know. I think Americans love cars, though.
Yeah, I love my car.
Yeah. Cars are dope.
Yeah, cars are sick.
Cars are sick as fuck.
Sick as fuck. I have a Tesla. I don't have to go to a gas station. I fucking hate gas stations.
How long does it take to charge it?
Probably a day and a half.
Really?
Yeah, but I mean, whenever I park, I just charge it.
Oh, so you charge a little bit every day?
Yeah, so it's like a little bit, and then I'll go out. Like I didn't go out at all today, so it's been charging all day.
If you had to like take a road trip, how long could you drive? Like, is it like 250 miles or how's it work?
I can make it. So I usually leave it at 80% battery because if you fully charge it, it's bad for the battery.
Yeah.
So 80% battery. If I started here going to Dallas, about halfway to Dallas, it's going to die. But there's a Buc-ee's that all has the superchargers.
I'm already out. I hate this.
No, I love it, dude.
It's going to die halfway to Dallas?
Yeah, but you just stop at a Buc-ee's, you supercharge it. It takes like 5 minutes, and then it's fully charged again, and then you go
It takes
again.
5 minutes?
Yeah, dude, it's not long at all.
You just had a day and a half.
Yeah, that's for my trickle charger here in the house.
Oh.
But you go to a supercharger and at Buc-ee's, you plug that bitch in, you go inside, you get a sandwich, you get a fucking shit, you walk out, your thing's ready to go, and then you're going again. And there's so many of these now, like all over the place, that you'll always find one, and it's like, okay, here's a supercharger right here. I'll just do it here. But
I'm wondering if you like, going through like Mississippi, or
yeah, there's some in Mississippi for sure.
Okay.
They're like always in weird places too. Like one was behind a hotel. I found there was one. It'll tell you like it has like a GPS system. So if I say like I'm going to Atlanta, tell me which the best way to go. It'll say the fastest route, and then it'll have stops for you. Like when you get to 10% battery, there's a supercharger behind a grocery store in this town that you can pull over and do.
You'd virtually have to stop every 2 hours or so?
No. Well, I guess. No, that sounds kind of bad. Let me try to think.
Well, you said halfway to Dallas, so I'm assuming an hour and a half to 2 hours would be.
I don't think it's that bad now that I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking 3/4 of the way to Dallas. But I would say probably every 3 hours you have to stop.
Every 3 hours. Okay.
Yeah. Probably every 3 hours you got to stop. Yeah. Which is not bad.
Yeah, it's not terrible.
It's not terrible. And again, I fucking hate gas stations.
Mm-hmm.
They suck. They're scary. I don't like the people there.
That's not racist.
Does that sound racist?
Yeah. Which people specifically do you not like at the gas station?
Not
The guys,
not black
the guys
or
working the gas station?
no, not black or Indian. I'm thinking more just like crackheads. Like even a white people gas station can be intimidating, and I don't like the people there.
Yeah.
It's not race; it's socioeconomic.
I don't like the people asking me for money at the gas station
Yes, or downtown.
or downtown. No.
I just don't like people that are gross, and they seem to be a lot of them hanging around gas stations.
Yeah, it's the place to be.
That sounds bad.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't mean to like that.
7-Eleven.
Honestly, I think the guys the guys behind the counter are usually the best people there.
You would think.
Yeah,
I don't trust them.
really?
Nah, they seem all right. I just know they have some evil thoughts.
Would you get an electric car?
I want a Cybertruck. I think it'd be dope. But I don't want. I want it to be a second. If I get an electric vehicle, I want it to be a secondary vehicle.
I just picture you shooting the side of your Cybertruck with your gun.
Absolutely, yeah, I would try that at a good angle so it doesn't bounce back at me. But yeah,
Yeah. Does it? Can that? Is that a thing? It comes straight back.
I don't know if it comes through. I mean,
Ricochet?
It would bounce off.
Yeah, shoot me. It would. Yeah.
I'm not a bulletologist. I don't know.
A bulletologist. That's great.
I'm not a myth buster.
Yeah. That was a great show. Holy shit! I saw a guy shoot a 50 caliber gun at the window of a Cybertruck. That was tight. Didn't go through.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was the window. I thought it was just the frame.
The frame and the window.
Frame and the window.
But I think he had it reinforced or something. I was very, very happy with that. But it seems
like you hear that guy who like blew himself up in front of Trump Tower with the Cybertruck.
Really, I have not heard of this.
Yeah, I think that was an ad for Cybertrucks because like the explosion, like it kept the explosion inside the vehicle, so it like did very little damage to the building.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was he a terrorist?
No, he was like a disgruntled veteran who was like upset about something. I don't know exactly.
And he picked a Cybertruck to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'm thinking Patsy again. You know what I mean? Like this guy's going to do something crazy. Let's make him do it in a Cybertruck so we make some money.
It did seem weird because he like wrote a note and the note wasn't like, burnt up in the explosion. But I don't know, man.
Biggest conspiracy theory I have is that dude in Vegas that shot those people at that country festival.
Crazy.
That one is crazy.
I believe in that one for sure because I tweeted about it and my my account just got deactivated.
Really?
Yeah.
Was that back when it was Twitter?
Yeah. That was back whenever it happened, like 2016 or something. I don't know when exactly it happened.
That shit was. I remember watching it when the day it happened, and it was so annoying. I was like, "How? This doesn't make any sense." The guy's like 60.
Yeah.
He's got a pretty hot girlfriend. He goes there all the time. He gambles. His family was all like, "Yeah, the guy was pretty like normal, straightforward." The girlfriend was like, "Yeah, he's a normal dude." And then that.
Yeah, he had like 5 rifles that he just
I think it was
up
more. I think it was like a shitload. Yeah. And he mounted them on like a tripod. I don't know. That one, the whole thing just felt off because it's like, I don't think a 60-year-old dude would do that.
Yeah,
I can't imagine that.
It didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
That was some wild shit.
That's a young man's game to do something like that, like a 20-something-year-old that's disgruntled, but a dude that's, older, I don't know. That just doesn't seem like that's something that an older person would do. But
yeah, well, people are changing.
Yeah.
Maybe the old people will step it up. Maybe they'll start doing some school shootings,
Yeah, an old guy in a school.
Get your grandpa out there.
Just, I picture a dude kicking down the door of a classroom. That isn't music. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a good bit for stand up. This is my impression of an 85-year-old school shooter. That isn't music.
That's a funny concept because it'll be like my generation will be the first generation to have old mass shooters.
Yeah, that's right. That's good. Yeah, they've actually been less lately. I feel like we haven't heard of a lot of school shootings lately.
Yeah, I'm hoping. How about we get back into serial killer territory? Because serial killers stopped.
Austin's got a good one.
Mass shooters came. Mass shooters stopped. Serial killers come back.
Oh, so serial killer kind of is edging back in.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I think that's where we're headed forward.
Austin's got a good one right now. Austin, I think, is leading the charge in serial killers. But I also think they just don't give them as much publicity because they know that can be dangerous.
Maybe so. Is it? How many bodies have they found? I haven't been keeping up.
I think it's 30.
The 30 bodies in like the last 2 years.
Yeah, 30 or 13. It definitely had a 3 in it.
30 or 13. That's a big window. But I'm curious. Like, is that like a real anomaly, or is there like a certain number of people just happen to drown every year? You know what I mean?
I think there was evidence of foul play on the bodies. Like there was like common rats or something. Yeah.
Ooh.
Let's see. 19 between 2022 and 2025.
Whoa, Raul Meza Jr., they found his ass.
Oh, to 2 murders.
Damn, 1 in 19 and 1 in 23. He waited a little.
Yeah, it's good now. But yeah, I was recording the whole time, I think. But
Hell yeah.
What was I gonna say? Serial killers.
Serial killers.
I don't know. I'm fascinated by serial killers. You ever seen Mindhunter?
No, but I've seen like the thumbnail. So
Oh, you gotta watch it. That one's so good.
my ex was super into like true crime stuff.
Oh, every girl is.
Yeah, but I don't like when the story is real. It's like less fun to me. Like I like horror movies because I know that it's not really happening. But then when it's like this guy came in and murdered and raped 6 women, I'm like, I don't fucking want to know about that, dude. Like,
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's the different. I think that's different with women. Like women, I think like those dramatic, real stories, and that's why they like the true crime stuff. But I don't think guys are really into that. Guys,
no.
We like the idea of like, man, how did they think of that? You know, I think that's what's impressive to us. It's like, what a well composed story.
Yeah.
How did they come up with that idea? And that's impressive. But girls are more impressed by like, what a great emotional story that just got out of control. You know what I mean? That's where they find.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. Especially when there's like kids involved. I don't want to like watch that at all.
Yeah, that's not fun. I don't like that at all. Like, yeah, I'm trying to think of the Dahmer. Have you seen the Dahmer TV show?
I watched a little bit of it.
Ooh, that one was interesting. That one's crazy because the guy was like, a lot of people knew he was a fucking weirdo.
For sure.
And just nothing came out.
They were just like, well, he's gay. Let's not touch him.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. They're like, oh, this guy's doing gay shit? Ew.
Yeah.
Stay away. But I totally could see that happening. It's just someone just getting away with it because nobody wanted to deal with the problem, you know? The other one was Ted Bundy. Dude was just... He was interesting because he was just hitting on girls.
Yeah.
Like the way that anybody would.
Mm-hmm.
And then he would just take it too far.
Yeah. Or like the Richard Ramirez. I forgot what they call him.
Oh.
But he was just like walking into people's houses. Like he just unlocked doors and just murdering them and walking away.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's just crazy that like...
It's crazy that is this happening anymore? Like do people...
Yeah, I don't know.
Did it just stop?
It's got to still be happening, but
I don't think that they're publicizing it anymore.
they're just not reporting it the same way. Maybe?
I think so. I think that they realize, like, hey, if we give them attention, they keep doing it. You know what I mean? I think that's a phenomenon.
But they're still doing that with like shooters. They're still like posting their faces up and everything.
Yeah, but I think that's the newest. I was trying to do a bit without making it sad. But it was like in the past, people would do a lot of killings as a serial killer over a long period of time. That's not as doable. Now they shoot a lot of people quickly over a short period of time because that seems the only way you can get away with it these days. Because now they have blood evidence, fingerprints. You know what I mean?
So maybe it just took like the police force like a solid like 20 years to be like, all right, now we know how to catch serial killers.
Yeah.
And so now it's like they catch them sooner. But there's also cases where it's like the police don't know what the fuck they're doing, and they're like in a small town. And they're just like, I'm gonna go
and that's
off,
what Mindhunter's about.
just go off on a hunch.
Yeah. Mindhunter's about that. It's like these guys from San Francisco, after doing a bunch of like serial killer cases, going into small towns, and they're talking about serial killers. And the cops are like, but what's the motive? Why did he do it? Because generally speaking, if we have a murder, it's the wife or the business partner. But these don't make any sense. And he goes, and that's the thing, is that they never make sense. You have to find the psychological reasoning why they're doing it and then trace that to the person.
So that's interesting.
It is very interesting. And then they're teaching the cops, like, why did he strangle this person? Why, like, don't just write it off as he's crazy. There's a story here. Like, he strangled them in the same place every time because there was a murder 30 years ago where his mom was strangled that way, and he's recreating that moment. And then the cops are like, oh, interesting. So it's like them teaching all the cops
That's nice.
how to recognize. Yeah, it's very cool, dude. It's a really good show. I watch it like every year again just because it's so fucking cool.
They
the way
should do
lay it
like
out.
a similar thing where they go around and teach cops not to put black guys in headlocks. have they thought about this?
Hey, dude, that guy was just grocery shopping. They're like, oh.
No, they bought groceries.
This is another great example of like what would be a really funny sketch if you mock it up just like Mindhunter, and then it shows these cops like, why was he in that grocery store? And all the other cops were like, he's selling drugs. And they're like, no, he's buying food. And they're like, oh, they do that? Oh, shit.
That's, they're like taking notes.
Yeah, they're
food.
like, oh, fuck. That is fucking funny as shit. Oh, man. No, but that's a good one. Anything serial killer is interesting, but I don't like the true crime because I feel like it really just drags on. It's like, dude, show me a dramatization.
Yeah.
I don't want a fucking audiobook of how someone murdered his mom. That's fucking lame.
So too. Like I like the reenactment more.
Yeah.
But there was a podcast called Last Podcast on the Left. I don't know if it probably still goes on, but they would cover like serial killers over like they'll do like 3 episodes on Dahmer, and it's like 3 guys who are like really funny, like comedians, and they'll do like impressions of the serial killers, and they're like talk shit the whole time. And my ex used to like watch that, and I would listen to it with her because it was comedy mixed with true crime,
Right.
and serial killers, and it was hilarious.
That is cool. That is cool. Have you ever seen that movie Last House on the Left?
Yeah, I don't think I saw the original, but
That movie's fucked.
I saw the remake that came out early 2000s.
Yeah, that's the one I saw.
Yeah, there's like a 10-minute rape scene.
Yes.
Like, what the fuck?
I know. I was like watching that in high school with my family, and I was like,
Like, go
This
to the
is-
go to the next scene, please.
can we move on? Like, what the fuck, dude?
It was prolonged.
It was they probably took a lot of takes. I was like, this is crazy what they're doing. I was here for a story. This is not fun.
I didn't understand the ending. They like blow his head up in a microwave. You remember? Is that the?
Yeah, I do remember that vaguely. I haven't seen it in a while.
But when I was younger, I was like, why? How's the microwave working without a door on it? I didn't believe it was. I was like, that can't happen, right?
Yeah, because you need to close it, and the neck would be in the door.
But do you think your head would explode from a microwave?
I think so, like a gerbil.
I've never put a gerbil in a microwave.
Well, you never heard of that?
No, I don't think so.
There was
I put a spoon in a microwave once.
well, it's like pasta. Like if you wrapped pasta in something and then put it in a microwave, eventually it's just gonna like kind of pop. You know. Mm-hmm. So I think you put and then there was a joke about you put a gerbil in a microwave, it's gonna pop. It would. I don't think it would explode, but it would definitely pop. There's gonna be gases in there that fucking. Yeah, so I think a head in a microwave would definitely. I don't think it would burst, but it would probably pop in some areas, but I don't think it would explode because the skull is too thick.
Yeah. I might stop on PetSmart on the way home.
Grab a gerbil. I don't know why people even own gerbils.
Just put in their ass.
Or to feed a snake.
Yeah, feed a snake.
That's a guilty pleasure of mine, I won't lie, was watching people feed snakes. You ever watch those online?
Yeah, you shouldn't feel guilty about that. That's pretty
Dude, it's really fun to watch.
My 4th grade science teacher, she had a snake, and she showed the whole class they threw a rat in there and it ate it. It took like 45 minutes.
In 4th grade?
Yeah. It was dope. Well, I guess 5th grade. But.
Dude, you would need a consent form from that. In modern world, there's no way that a teacher could just do that without the parents knowing.
Kids would probably cry.
Yeah, dude, I think I would cry seeing a little mouse get eaten by a rat or a giant fucking snake.
But it's okay, though. It's a feeder rat.
Yeah, but some parent would be like, you shouldn't have showed my kid. That would happen.
Yeah, they probably would. Yeah.
They'd be pissed. But I do think it is a good thing to show them, though. They got to know.
You know what's wild? My uncle, who went to school, same town I did, when he did show and tell in middle school, I don't know. I can't guess when it was. Maybe 70s or 80s. I don't know. But he took a gun to school for show and tell.
That's crazy.
And nobody freaked out.
In the 70s?
I want to say maybe 80s. But yeah.
I think you could have got away with that like halfway through the 90s. I think you probably could have done that.
Yeah, anytime before Columbine.
Yes. Yeah, I think that was 94. Yeah. Yeah. I remember what happened when I was born.
But I can't even imagine someone showing up to school with a gun and everyone just being like, "Oh, that's Tommy, he's got a gun."
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's like showing up to an airport with a gun.
Yeah.
You probably could have done that in the 70s too.
Probably, yeah.
I think you probably could have got on a plane with a gun and nobody would have cared. Yeah. Do you remember what you used to bring for show and tell when you were a kid?
I didn't do a whole lot of show and tell. I remember doing like the brown bag thing. When it's like, put things in here that describe you, and then you give like a...
I did do that. Man, they do that shit everywhere. What the fuck?
They do that everywhere.
They must have had some kind of forum page for teachers to like, you know what I mean? And all of them were just doing the same shit.
I don't even remember a show and tell. I don't know if I ever did one.
Yeah.
Aside from that.
Yeah.
Aside from the brown bag.
I had a show and tell once. I brought a little go-kart I made in like wood shop. I would bring that one a lot for show and tell.
Nice.
I'm trying to think of what else. I bought a hermit crab once. I got hermit crabs.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. They were terrible, though. They started eating each other.
Yeah, they're hermits.
Yeah, because they wanted each other's shell, so they were killing each other for the shells.
dope.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah.
My
Greed.
sisters ate mine.
The 1%.
Yeah, and then ripped him out of the shell and then took it.
That's
and then
dope.
we bought another crab, and then it ate that crab and ripped him out of the shell and took it.
But what do they do with their old shell?
They just leave it.
Do you think they ever like have buyer's remorse? I miss my old show.
I think it's kind of. I think what happens is they take the shell, and it's kind of like a level up for them. It's like they moved into a better community with like
Yeah.
like a better school zone or something.
But what if like this one doesn't have the kitchen I wanted?
This one doesn't have the ocean view. Yeah. But eventually we stopped buying them, and then the last one just crawled out of the cage, and we lost it. We didn't know where it went. And then 3 weeks later, we found it under my sister's bed, and it was just dead.
Oh.
Yeah. But thing was a murderer. Killed like 3 crabs.
I thought it was going to like show up on your chest while you're asleep. You're next.
Your skull is the final shell. That'd be crazy, dude.
That would be dope.
Just crawling on my nose like... That'd be a crazy way to go. Crabs are kind of scary in that sense because I feel like they would crawl up in your shit.
Yeah, if they were bigger.
And pick you apart. Yeah. Crabs would be a pretty terrifying large creature. Like they're really small, but if they were really big, like a rhino, that'd be...
Yeah. Have you played the game Fallout?
I've seen people play it a lot.
Yeah, they have these things. I think they're called like Mirelurks.
Yeah.
And they like these water creatures, but they have like... basically like human body, like legs and torsos, but they have these big ass claws, and that's like it's like a crab. It's like a crab human.
Casey Rocket.
Yeah, crab man.
Crab bad.
Yeah, big crabs would be scary.
Big crabs would terrify me.
There's that show, Love, Death, Robots. I think is what it's
Oh
called.
yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, there's like an episode where there's a crab on a ship, and they keep having to feed it. But that crab talks. So that's like the devil crab.
Oh, is it an evil crab?
Yeah, it's an evil crab for sure.
Damn.
He's like, feed me.
Yeah, man, it would be great to eat that thing though. Imagine making a big old boil out of that old fucker,
that'd be
dude.
amazing.
Oh my god, that'd be the benefit. Even if big crabs are around, we'd probably still dominate them.
Oh yeah.
And the eating would be so good.
Mukbang. Mm-hmm. You ever watch a mukbang?
No, what's a mukbang?
Oh man, you gotta look this up on Instagram. It's a lot of Asian people, a lot of black people, and I'm not pointing that out for any other reason other than that's what it is.
Okay.
But they're eating like big pieces of like lobster and like crab, and they're like dipping in the sauce, and they're like eating it into the mic, so it's like,
oh, like an ASMR?
yeah, it's like ASMR, but they're doing it with like they're eating a lot of food. So there's like Asian women will be like eating these like, I guess they're clams, but they're like dick shaped, and they like squirt, and these Asian girls are just like biting into it.
I have seen that.
Biting these dick clams.
Yeah, and it squirts on their face and shit. Yeah, I've seen that. Damn, that like combines gluttony, lust, greed. There's a lot of 7 deadly sins in that one video.
It's a magical time.
Yeah, I have seen those. I saw one of this lady who was cooking up a bunch of crickets, and she would like salt them up, put them in a fryer, and at the end, I was like, "Damn, that does look kind of good, even though it's a fucking cricket."
I've really only seen it with seafood. I think I've seen one lady eating a pickle, but that kind of annoyed me.
Pickles are tight. Not gonna lie.
Because they'll whisper, so it's like ASMR. They'll be like, "This pickle's so good."
Do you like ASMRs?
No, not really. But
I kind of liked them when they first came out.
Yeah, I think when they first came out, I was kind of into it. But
yeah,
but it was weird because I didn't know how I felt about it. Like it was like, am I into this because it's like sexual?
Yeah, it's like, is this sexual? Yeah.
Am I horny right now? I can't tell.
I don't think. So here's my favorite ASMR, and I've talked about this before, but my favorite ASMR is a guy online who posts these YouTube videos of him teaching people how to become a stonemason. And he's a really old guy, and it's just him chiseling into stone. And he's like, now I use the stone chisel to make the indentation.
Oh, shit.
And he has very soft voice, and then you just hear the ting, ting, ting.
He's like that PBS guy.
Yeah, like Bob Ross.
Bob Ross,
It's Bob Ross for stone chiseling. And it's incredible. Cool. But it's amazing because the guy's like pouring out all of the experience he has in his whole life from stone chiseling.
Yeah.
But people are tuning in just to fall asleep. It was an unintentional ASMR.
I could get into that. Because that sounds way cooler than just someone eating if you're actually like working on a craft.
Yes.
Like
yeah.
I've watched videos of like people building like in-ground pools. And
those are good.
In like third world countries. And I'm like, this is actually really cool.
That's really good. Those guys got big. Yeah. Those guys who the indoor pools. I like a little bit of audio, like the speaking, because it feels like I'm falling asleep doing a lecture in school or something. That feels really good to just, fall asleep to someone trying to teach you something. I don't know why. It's like this guy's trying to really make sure I learn something, and it just feels good to fall asleep during that.
I don't like hearing anything when I'm asleep.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because you're a silent guy?
My brain...
You like white noise?
My brain gets too active. No, I don't usually sleep with anything other than the fan on. But
is it one of these fans?
Yeah, I can't sleep with like music on because then I'll just be thinking about the lyrics.
Yeah, music I couldn't do.
Yeah.
Music I couldn't do. Unless it's like classical, like just a piano. I'm okay with that. One of my friends, he does white noise. He puts this big fucking machine on the side of his bed, and it's just like the whole time. And he says it helps him fall asleep because it kind of engulfs all the other bullshit noise that you hear in the background.
Interesting.
And it just turns it into one noise.
Yeah.
Which it like resets your baseline for noise. and it is loud, but because it's so consistent, it's easier to fall asleep. I thought it was fucking annoying, but everybody else was like, yeah, that shit helps. Like we put it up on Airbnb when we went on a boys trip. There was like maybe 10 of us, and they put it into the room, and I was like, this thing is loud. And everyone was like, no, that thing was awesome.
Was it like a bunch of bunks in one room?
Like all the dudes in one room. Yeah. But it was like little beds. Like, what do you call them?
Not bunk beds.
Bunk beds. That's
okay.
it. Yeah. Not bunk beds. Bunk beds.
Well, I said a bunch of bunks. I was like, surely he's not going to say bunk beds.
I heard a bunch of bucks. That's what I heard. I was like, we're not gay, but yeah, dude. I mean, yeah, we're bucks, I guess.
That sounds fun as long as, everyone, and as long as no one smells like shit.
Yeah. No, we all have good hygiene.
Yeah.
But
important.
I was just a little concerned. I was like, the fucking white noise is just ridiculous. But I was going to bed drunk every night, so it didn't really matter to me. But
no one can hear you choking your chicken with the white noise machine on.
that's true. If someone's having a bad night. Just, help me, please. They fucking can't hear shit. But I can get down with white noise.
Oh, you thought I meant choking on chicken.
That's what I thought.
No, I meant like choking your chicken.
Oh, back to gay again.
Yeah.
There we go.
No, it doesn't have to be gay. You're just beaten off as a straight man in a bunk bed with around that other guy.
Choking my own chicken.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you said choking his. I was like, no. But yeah, choking my chicken with the sleep. Yeah, maybe that is a good reason to have white noise.
Yeah.
So you can jerk off and your neighbors don't know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The more you know.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
You jerk off to white noise?
Not yet, but I might get some white noise on the way home after I get a gerbil.
Tight. You got 2 stops.
Yep.
Hey, do you guys have a white noise machine and a gerbil? That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. That's tight. That's cool. That's tight. Sick, tight. What else, dude? What else is going on?
I do comedy. I used to have a podcast called Clemente's Corner, which I might bring back. It's been about 3 years, maybe 4. It's been a while. One day.
You've been talking about whipping this thing back, dude. Get it going.
I know. I just gotta
get it going.
I want to have like a space for it.
Yeah. I was gonna do it in the front room, and then I was like, I think this is a good spot, just because the TV,
Yeah, it's a good spot.
the vibes here are good.
Good camera. You just use your phone as a camera?
Just use my phone, and then I'll edit it so that like when you're talking, it'll be on you, and when I'm talking, it'll be on me. And then I do that on TikTok, and then I post like some clips on TikTok.
Does it not like take up too much space on your phone?
What do you mean?
The video?
No, because it's all updating it to the laptop onto the program.
Oh, nice.
So this is actually not going into my video on my phone. It's just live streaming using my phone camera into the Riverside app.
Riverside app. It's a good street.
Yeah, Riverside is not a good street. That place is where murderers live. Do you live north or south?
I live south. I live on Stasny, like not far from. I mean, across 35.
Oh, so you're not too far.
Yeah, I'm like 10 minutes.
You go to Umi's Sushi Bar and Grill?
Umi, yeah.
Dude,
I'm
that place
I'm
slaps.
like next door to it.
Bro, I went to fucking high school with the owner there. So dope.
Japanese?
Yeah, no, I think he's Korean actually.
Oh.
Yeah, but the guy is.
Oh.
Nirusa nani? Okay, but yeah, the guy's sick, and he gives me some free shit sometimes, and I'm like,
That's dope.
sick. Yeah, I like that place. There's also a Twin Peaks there.
Yeah, I went there, and
Food's not great.
the girls weren't impressive. I went to Ojos Locos up north.
I've been to that one.
That was nice.
That one is nice. I've been to that one. I was there for a business meeting, and I was like, wow, this is a strange place for a business meeting. And then I started understanding why.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't get that it was like a Hooters.
Yeah.
But I still kind of hold Hooters at the highest level of all of the boob and ass places.
I've just never been to like a quality Hooters.
Go to San Marcos. They have a good one.
I bet they do.
Because all the
College
girls are
yeah.
from the college.
Yeah.
So they're all like not, girls in their 40s who are like, I'm just making it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point.
That sounds so bad. I felt like such a douche saying that.
I could just have a thing for like Latinas, so like Ojos Locos is great.
Oh, that makes sense. You have some of that in you.
Yeah, I like Latinas and black girls
Oh, really?
So white girls are like, down at the
Really? What do you put Asian?
Asians are further down, but
Really?
Mixed Asians, then I'm like, okay, let's
Oh,
talk.
like a Filipino?
Yeah, like if she's Asian with something else, she got a little body on her, I'm like, okay.
Shotty got a little body.
Mm-hmm.
I think Asian, and then probably white people,
Mm-hmm.
and then I think black and Latina are on the same level.
Mm-hmm.
I do like a black girl. Black girls are good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um,
I think it's just like I don't like the lighter skin, so I think it's like an Asian's mixed. If she's got like a tan, then I'm like, all right.
yeah, I actually might even put white girls lower. White girls are great until they talk.
Yeah, that's how I've always said that.
Yeah. White girls, I'm always like, oh, she's so great, and then the moment she opens her mouth, I'm like, I hate you. I
But
think you're terrible.
there are white girls I like. Like white girls with butts. Those are cool.
Yeah, white girl with a booty.
I'm a fan of those.
Yeah. Asians, they have bodies now.
Yeah,
Asians are,
Americanized. Yep.
yeah, they're making things happen in the Asian world.
I think also I don't know why, but I don't really like blonde hair. Like a hot girl who's a brunette is hotter to me than a hot girl who's
Really?
blonde. Yeah.
I think it's because I agree with you. I think I also like brunettes. I think it's because it's kind of more like, yeah, I'm attractive, but it's no big deal. You know what I mean? Blondes are
100%.
almost too showy.
That might be it.
But when you're a brunette, it's like, yeah, it's whatever. I'm a hot girl, like no big deal. When you're blonde, it's like in your face, like
Maybe it's because like if you're blonde, I just assume you do porn.
yeah. That could be real. There's a lot of blonde porn stars.
Yeah.
Sydney Sweeney selling her bathwater and soap.
Okay, that's a blonde I would go for though.
That's a blonde any human man would go for. Are you
Yeah,
kidding
yeah.
me? Sydney Sweeney is just like Jesus.
She is just like Jesus.
Jeez. Jesus.
She forgave my sins.
Man, I'd sin all over her if you know what I'm saying. All right.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, she's good. Another hot blonde. Trying to think of a hot blonde. Heidi from Kill Tony.
Yeah, she's hot.
She's hot. Not as good as Sydney Sweeney though.
Definitely. She's definitely no Sydney Sweeney.
Cameron Diaz.
Cameron Diaz, yeah. She's had her moments.
Cameron Diaz is hot.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Jessica Alba? No, she's got brown hair.
Yeah, brown hair. I can't think of any blondes right now. There's gotta be more out there.
My number one,
Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie is a blonde. Here's what I think about Margot Robbie. Undeniably attractive.
Mm-hmm.
Not for me.
Interesting.
I don't know why. I think I am a bit of a boob guy, though. And she's lacking in the boob.
I had a thing for Scarlett Johansson, but
yes.
she's gotten less attractive to me over like the last decade.
She's always been the more voluptuous kind. And she's got a little, I don't know. I like a skinnier girl. I think I think it's because I'm really skinny.
Yeah, we're opposites.
Yeah. You like a big bodied babe?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like a skinny, like a Natalie Portman for me.
I like the thick thighs.
Thick thighs.
Yep. Save lives.
TNT.
Dynamite.
Thick thighs. I like a breast, but the thing is that it's so hard for me because I like skinny girls and I like boobs, and usually those aren't great together.
No, there's some skinny girls with some big boobs. They're out there.
Yeah, they're out there, and I'll see them every now and then, and I attempt. But
That's always nice. I think it's a good build.
A skinny girl with boobs.
Yeah, it's like a pea. You know,
a pea.
They're shaped like the letter P.
Oh, I get you. I get
Yeah.
you. I was like, they have a pea.
They have a penis.
They have a pea. Yeah, I think. That's my favorite build. Like a skinnier girl with some boob. I'm like, yeah, that's great.
I can respect those.
Mm-hmm. But a booty never really does it for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, you got a boob. That's great. I don't know.
Yeah, I just feel like, you can do more with a booty.
Girl criteria for men seems to be so much more complex than our criteria. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah.
They're all, like the big one is tall. How tall are you?
6'4".
6'4".
In single.
Single.
I don't think women are watching this.
Yeah, they won't.
If they were, they tuned out.
They won't see it. Hey, but I think 6'4". So tall. They want a tall guy. Generally speaking, after that, it all becomes financial or personal.
They're like, I want a funny guy who's like emotionally available.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good connection with his mother. Like, I couldn't give a shit if my girl has a good connection with her mother or dad.
Yeah. And no guy cares what a woman does for a living.
That's also true.
Like as long as you're not trying to like
porn,
take money from him. Yeah, porn
or sexual related.
Yeah, but like that, if she's like a server, a guy was never going to be like, oh, she's a server, I don't want to go out with her.
Don't care.
Yeah, it's never happened.
Doesn't bother me at all.
Oh, you're a nanny? Okay, cool.
She could be kind of just unemployed and doing nothing.
Oh, yeah. You've been unemployed for 3 years?
And I'd be like, yeah, that's great. You look great.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I guess in our own way, it is kind of superficial because we're like talking about, you're like, oh, she's fucking, I just need her to look good. But then at the other side, it's like the girls are saying, I need him to be a good guy and tall. I don't know. That's crazy. That's crazy.
But you have to have a level of superficialness to even approach someone, because you got to be like, you have to be attracted to them before you even talk to them.
True.
So there has to be a level of you
being superficial.
Yeah, you got to size them up.
Yeah, that is a necessity in life that you just have to get past.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyway, childbearing hips. That's what I'm a fan of.
Yeah. You think that's a necessity? You think secretly you're just looking for a child?
Yeah, I'm trying to get a woman pregnant for sure. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
do you
not
actually
immediately, but like?
Do you actually want kids?
Yeah, yeah.
Really? You wouldn't be a family man?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I think I want a couple. Which gonna be an old parent because I'm already 31. But you know, fuck it.
I'm 31 too.
Oh yeah.
But I don't really want kids.
Nice.
I just don't see that being fun.
Yeah. I think it'll be a good time.
You think it would be fun?
Yeah, I used to think like kids would get in the way of comedy, but then I see like comedians talking about their kids, and I'm like, oh, I could do that. And then you get like a whole new perspective on life, and it kind of changes you as a person.
That sounds true, but I saw this guy. He made a joke. He was like, "Oh, Mr. Clemente, it's a tight 20." You know what I mean? It's like. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you just had a kid for fucking material? That's crazy, you know?
Dude, everything I do is for material.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Every decision I make is for material.
I feel like
I'm not even a real person anymore.
Oh, man, that's sad. Nah, you're a good guy. But I think, I don't know. I just don't want kids. I just feel like I would really try to take care of it, and I would kind of throw everything else away to just make sure that that thing has a good life. And that sounds boring because I want to kind of fuck around.
Yeah, you kind of have to give up on whatever you're... I mean, you don't have to completely give up, but to a certain extent, you have to give up.
The way I see me having a kid is I have to find a girl that I love so much that I'm like, man, I would do anything for this girl. Mm-hmm. And then eventually she's like, would you have a fucking kid for me? And then I'd be like, damn it. Yeah, I guess I would. That's the only way that I see myself having a kid, is some chick is like, I really want one, and if you want to hang around, you got to have one too. And I'd be like, fuck, I guess I do. But just me personally, no, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have a kid by myself either.
Yeah, that wouldn't be great. You don't seem like the kind of guy to be like, I'm getting up there, I'm going to adopt a kid because I've always wanted one.
No, I do. I have always wanted to like have a child. So I think it'd be dope. I just want to like, you know, imprint all my horrible beliefs onto someone and then see what they become.
Yeah.
You know, maybe the next dictator, maybe the next serial killer. Who knows? You know, so many options. Maybe
you think Hitler's dad was proud?
I think he...
It's like, man, you really left a mark, kid.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. He made an impact.
You did make an impact.
Yeah.
It would be pretty strange to just be a normal dude and to be like, yeah, my kid was Hitler.
Yeah.
That was me.
I don't know if his families, did they document like what his parents were like?
I actually don't know. That would be interesting to look into. Like, was his dad also like hating on the Jews?
Yeah, there's something also that I didn't realize, because in history class they just teach you anti-Semitism, Nazis.
Yeah.
But they don't teach you that like actually people hated Jews since Jews.
Yeah. People were hating him for a while.
Since the first Jew, they were like, this guy's fucking annoying.
Since Egypt. Yeah. What I don't understand is how that happens. You know, like what? Because I don't know. There's no Jews in Austin. There's like 4 of them. Mm-hmm. But everyone that I've met, I'm like, this guy seems pretty normal, and like I just don't get the hate. But I mean, I don't live in New York, so maybe like there are some that are I don't know. I just don't know.
Yeah, it's honestly because they're so talented. They're all smart. They all work really hard, and they all take care of each other.
It's just jealousy.
It is. A lot of it is just jealousy.
It's just jealousy.
Because the Jews, they all have each other's backs. They all help out each other. They're like, I'm going to give him a loan because he's Jewish.
Yeah.
And he's going to give me this because we're both Jewish, or we go to the synagogue together. And then people on the outside are like, I can't get these loans that these guys are getting. I can't get a leg up.
So fuck that guy. Yeah,
that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, it's just Jew jealousy. The J&J.
They know how to team up better than anyone else.
Yeah, that's cool though. They got a thing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's other groups like that. I read this book by Thomas Sowell. He's like a old economist. He's like 90 years old now, but he was talking about like middlemen minorities, and one of them was the Jews. I don't remember the other groups, but he named like 4 or 5 groups, and they all kind of had that like same mentality of like, we're a group. We're gonna look out for each other. We're gonna protect each other. We're all gonna grow together. And those people get extra hate.
Yeah, because they're all working with each other. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is good. It is good to work in a group setting like that. Yeah, it is good, and they're all knowing each other. Yeah,
because like the immigrants that moved here, like in the early 1900s or 1800s, whenever they moved to like New York, and they would work in like the textile industry. And then they, like a Jewish business owner would be like, I'm going to work with these. I'm going to get my materials from these Jewish people. Mm-hmm. So that just creates like a big network of Jews. Mm. And then Hitler's like, why are these fucking Jews making all the money? You know?
It's like, because they're doing well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you get Kanye and shit talking about how they're all running the world. And it's like, nah, dude, they're just doing what they can. I saw this video the other day. It was interesting. And it was a guy who was talking about COVID. And he's like, during COVID, like all of the head people for the CDC and all of these things were half Israeli people, like half American, half Israeli. Mm. And he was trying to use that as an argument to hate on Jews. And I was like, but what does it matter though? Like what are you implying? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Like that Israel is like what is Jews aren't against America. They are American. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Why would it matter? They don't want America to fall or be like
we're their greatest ally.
Yeah, it's like what the fuck? What are you implying here?
If Israel didn't have America, they'd probably get destroyed.
Yeah, they'd be fucked
for sure.
But they're also really good at fighting wars. Like over the last 50 years, they've won like 7 wars or 8 wars or some shit.
But it's also like these people haven't had a choice. Like
yeah, they have to fight.
Like they can bomb Gaza less. I get that. But like since Israel became like a country again in like 1948, they started getting bombed like right away. They got attacked the day they decided they were a country. Mm. And then all the Muslim countries kicked all the Jews out of every country they were in, so they had to flee to Israel. So that was like their only place in the Middle East where they're not going to get murdered.
Yeah. So you pro Israel?
I don't know. I don't think I know the full story. I think they're definitely excessively bombing the shit out of people. but it's also like they have to fight just to be alive. So I can see both sides.
I can see both too. I don't know. I think any American that says they really know what's going on is kind of fucking full of shit. You know what I mean?
I don't have like blind loyalty to Israel.
Yeah,
I
me
think
neither.
That's crazy.
I just think the way I see it is like, yeah, I mean, they needed a place. We gave them a place. They're defending their place. Like that's the decision was made. To ask Israel to move now is ridiculous. But also, Palestinians have always been there. So
yeah.
it is just sort of a war now. It's like, okay, they want to stay and you guys are not winning.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's sort of just nature, I guess.
And like these terrorists, the Hamas guys, they know to hide in hospitals where there's Palestinian women and children. They know how to make Israel look bad. So they're like, oh, I'm gonna, if they're gonna kill me, they're gonna kill
everybody else.
Yeah.
It's fucked.
It's fucked for sure.
It's so fucked. And that's why I almost think there's no point in talking about it. And that's kind of also why I hate when people are like, I'm pro Israel, I'm pro Pal. It's like, dude, how could you even make that clear? Like, how could you say for sure that you're pro one of these when it's just such a gray area? I feel like it's so hard to decide and pick a team and be 100% when it's like, dude, this is such a complex issue. But then again, I'm the kind of guy that feels the same way about politics. Like Joe Biden, Trump, people who are so gung-ho on one side to me, it's like, how are you so confident that you're right?
Yeah. No, you should be critical of everyone.
Yeah.
Of whoever the president is, you should be hypercritical.
Exactly. That's healthy.
Yeah.
You should be talking shit. But sometimes they do a good job, and it's like, okay, doing a good job. But I think that it's always important to be like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You could have done better.
I thought the bombing Iran thing was completely fucking stupid. I thought like Trump was going to be like a war hawk and be like, we have to send troops to Iran. I thought he was going to do that whole thing. But it turned out like the bombs he dropped it actually worked. So it's like, okay, well, I'll eat my words. That shit was smart.
Yeah. Are they still on a ceasefire?
Yeah, as far as I know.
As of today, 6:26?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they've shot a couple missiles at each other.
Because I know there was that one thing where they went on ceasefire and it would last like 12 hours, and then they started shooting missiles again.
Yeah, it's never going to stop.
Yeah.
But I thought it was interesting because my fear was that like, oh, well, now Russia's going to step in. But then Putin was in an interview and he's like, no, we have Russian citizens in Israel. We're not going to do that.
Yeah, the Russians have a lot of
shit.
Jews. Yeah, so that's why the Russians are in a tight spot too, because they have a fuckload of Jews that live in Israel. But they also are pro-Iran just because Iran is anti-America. So they're kind of like, we have to just kind of hang out and watch.
But it's kind of impressive that we like showed up, bombed Iran, and like on a global stage, nobody came to support them. Everyone was like, that was actually a good call.
Yeah. That is kind of badass. I wonder where China lands on that.
Yeah, I don't know, because I was thinking China and Russia were about to like start some shit.
Because China, I don't think China likes Iran. I'm pretty sure that's what's going on. Don't they have border disputes with like some of their neighbors, and so that's why they don't? I think that's what's going on. Because I think I know with Pakistan and Afghanistan, they have border disputes with China.
Oh, I didn't
And
realize
so
that.
China's always like, fuck these guys. And if they're on the same side of Iran, then I'm pretty sure that's the case. I think it was Pakistan. Let me see. Map.
Pakistan's at war with India still, right? Is that still a thing?
Pakistan. Yeah, see all these like lines right here that are all fucking crazy? These are all like the disputed borders.
Oh, okay. I've never realized that.
Yeah. So Pakistan will be like, this is the actual border, or this is the actual border, and then China's like, no, the actual border's here.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and then Afghanistan has the same problem. So that's why I think China doesn't like these countries, and then all of them are partnered with Iran. So, yeah, that's crazy. This whole area is just a mystery, though. Like, this whole area is like the size of the U.S., and there's just fucking nothing going on. It's
Anyway,
so crazy.
Iran is like Drake in that they got dissed and nobody backed them up. And they like 17-year-old girls.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's a good reference for the Gen Z right there. Mm-hmm. Hey kids, you want to learn about Iran?
Trump is Kendrick.
Tight.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. Let's do a heartbeat check. You want to keep going? We're at 2 hours.
I'm down if you're down, bro. This is your podcast.
I'm down if you're down.
My heart is beat. What's heartbeat check?
I just want to see like where you're at, if you got to go, or if you. I'm just trying to check. And sometimes I feel like I'm holding people prisoner, and they're like, "Yeah, I've actually had to go," so I have to. I just want to check and see if you're good.
No, I got invited to do a show tonight, but I was like, I got a podcast.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was the show?
I don't cancel plans. Leo Kanopka is. I don't remember what the bar was called. Corner Bar or something? I don't know. But,
You done any crazy shows lately that went terribly or hilarious in any way, shape, or form?
Yeah, I did a gig out in Houston, Comic Palooza.
Yeah.
It was like their version of Comic-Con with a bunch of people dressed up like Star Wars and shit.
Nice.
So I was doing my set, and it was going really well. The crowd was awesome. But during my set, another room, we were like in a big, like, what do you call that shit? Like a very large... not stadium, like a center in Houston where there was like a big on the ground floor. They had a bunch of exhibits set up, and we were up on the third floor, and there were like different big rooms where they would have like conferences and stuff. So we were in one of the conference rooms, and in the room next to us, for some reason the audio was picking up on our speakers. So like it was like someone else was like doing a roll call while I was on stage doing jokes. So then it was like a funny situation, so I started making fun of that. And then that happened, and I made a bunch of jokes about it. And then there was a table in the back where I had my phone recording on a tripod, and two comedians were like sitting on the table, and the table collapsed during my set.
Oh, no.
And then I got to make fat jokes about the comedians who broke the table. So like everything that went wrong actually like made my set way better.
Weighted better.
So like I had one of my best sets ever because everything went wrong.
But you didn't get a recording of it.
No, I still have the recording.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah.
I thought they fucked it up.
Well, you can see in the video where it falls, but then they set it back up.
Nice. How long was it?
It was 15 minutes, yeah.
15. If you got all your shit compiled, how long do you can go for?
Right now, I have a solid 45. But I think, I could push it to an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I really like did shit that probably won't work, but I fucking just went with it.
Yeah. That's crazy. An hour. I feel like the longest I've ever done is 12 minutes. And I stretched like everything I had, but an hour. Do you ever feel like you lose momentum? How do you like bring people back?
That's a good question. You do lose momentum. And I don't know like the exact way to bring people back. I know it happens. Like I know I can figure it out while I'm up there, but it's like
because for me,
it's like an in the moment thing for me.
Yeah, for me, it's always like, okay, I did a couple stories, and it's kind of slowing back down, and then I'll just do like a quick one-liner, and that will be like a big pop just to kind of bring people back, and then maybe riff on that, and then go back into stories, and that'll keep the momentum going again. But like again, that's just for like 8-10 minute sets.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, you get 15-20 minutes in, it's like that's got to keep happening, and that's crazy. What's the longest one you've ever done?
I've done the longest show I've done, or the longest I've been on stage for a show was like 34 minutes. But I've gone up and done a mic, and I did a straight 44 minutes. But that was just me trying stuff out and fucking around. But yeah.
44 minutes. Where the fuck was that?
That was in Colorado, actually. What was that town called? It was right outside of Denver, Fort Collins. Fort Collins. I met Sam Talent there. It was pretty cool.
Oh, nice. He was on my Kill Tony episode.
Oh yeah, cool guy.
Yeah,
I'm glad he's blowing up.
Yeah.
Happy for him. His book's really good too.
Hey, you read it?
Yeah, Running the Light.
What's it about?
It's actually about a washed up comedian who's like just phoning it in, and he hates his life and his family hates him, but he's kind of just doing like the same material and touring around because he doesn't know what else to do with his life. So it's kind of like a dead end comic who's like checked out, but you know, he's still got his hour from the 1980s that he runs with.
Do you still do material from like long ass time ago?
I still have a few jokes that I sprinkle in, but like jokes from like my first year or two, I don't think I have any of those. But like maybe like first 3 or 4 years, yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, but the older jokes, I think they're just naturally starting to like fall off.
Yeah,
because it's like this isn't really relevant. This isn't really who I am anymore.
right.
But sometimes I will like sprinkle them in and try to rework them because you can always find a new angle on an old idea.
Yeah. The one actually you complimented me on it. There was one. It was like one of the first ones I used to do, and it was like I got a buddy named Nate. I call him Nater the Tater. A buddy named Jeff. I call him Heifer Jeffer. And I got a buddy named Nick, who's a black guy. I really just try to call that dude Nick. Remember that joke?
Yeah, it's a great joke.
Yeah, I don't really do that one. Like I stopped doing it for a while because sometimes it just wouldn't hit at all because it is a bit of a riskier one. But recently I started doing it in like a faster way, and I'm like, okay, I think it's better to do it faster and just get it out of the way. But that was one of the first ones I've done, and I was like, yeah, it's kind of cool to see it come back into my rotation.
Yeah, I don't think you should ever like completely throw anything out.
Exactly. Yeah. That's something else I've learned too, is that there were jokes. Like I had another one that was in my phone for years, and it was such a stupid joke. And I've been doing it all weekend because I kind of revived it. And the joke was just, I took a genealogy test the other day. I can't grant wishes. Stupid. But I've added, but I do have genial herpes,
Yeah.
that's
funny.
Which is funny.
Words.
Yeah. And it's stupid.
It is stupid.
It's stupid, but it's like a good, because it is a good thing to be like, I can't grant wishes. That's like a cheap, like lame joke.
Yeah.
But then to add the genial herpes is, I think, makes it a banger.
I have a pretty stupid herpes joke as well. I went out with this woman. This is a true story. I went out with a woman who said she's sex positive. I was like, oh, that's super awesome. I think that's great because I also have herpes. That's the whole joke.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Sometimes it lands. Sometimes people are like, oh.
No, that's funny. Those ones that kind of just don't really go anywhere. It's not clever. It's just sort of like, oh, yes, that makes sense. Are great. I have one that I've been doing lately, and again, sometimes it hits and sometimes it just doesn't. But I say, yesterday I Googled if water causes cancer, and it doesn't. And that's it. That's just, that's all and then I just move on, dude.
That's funny.
It's funny because people are like, wait, what, dude?
You should try doing that, but like in a Norm Macdonald voice.
Oh, yeah? I tried Googling it the other day. I Googled if water causes cancer. It doesn't. Something like that.
Yeah. I think it's funny.
Yeah. I watched him the other day doing that thing about the when Steve Irwin died. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That is so funny. He's like, people kept coming up. They said, Norm, did you hear who died? The crocodile hunter. It's like, oh man, how he died so young. He was 40 years old. It's like, that's a ripe old age for a crocodile hunter.
Yeah, that guy's awesome.
That guy is so fun. My favorite one was the homo and the lawnmower. Do you remember that joke?
I don't know.
I'm glad you don't, because now I get to tell it. He goes, I have a buddy. He goes, a friend of mine moved in, and he's my neighbor. He moved in next door to me, and he said, and I fucked this up. Reset. I had someone move in next to me. He's my new neighbor. And I introduced myself to him, and I said, hey, man, welcome to the neighborhood. What do you do for a living? And he said, I'm a professor of logic. And I was like, oh, okay, what does that mean? And he goes, well, basically, I work down at the university, and I teach kids about logic. And he goes, oh, explain. And he goes, well, basically, it's about picking out certain things in your life and understanding who you are based on just some small details that you have. So let me give you an example. Do you have a lawnmower? And the guy goes, I do have a lawnmower. And he goes, so based on the fact that you have a lawnmower, I can discern that you have a lawn. And he goes, oh, yeah, it's true. And he goes, and based on the fact that you have a lawn, I can discern that you have a house. He goes, yes, that is true. And he goes, and if you have a house, you're probably married. He goes, yes, I am. And he goes, and if you're married, you're probably straight. He goes, I am. He goes, see, I was able to find all of those things out about you just because you have a lawnmower. And that's logic, is understanding things based off of small information. And he goes, oh, that's really cool. So then later on, that guy goes to the bar, and he's talking with his friends, and the friends that live in the neighborhood. And they're like, hey, did you meet the new guy that moved in? And he goes, yeah, I did. Very interesting. The guy's actually works at the university. He's a professor of logic. And his friend goes, logic, what does that mean? He goes, well, he finds out tiny things about you, and then he can extrapolate from there. And the guy goes, well, explain. He goes, let me give you an example that he gave me. Do you have a lawnmower? And the guy goes, no. And he goes, well, then you're a faggot.
Oh, damn. That's a great joke.
Dude, that's fantastic, right? Holy shit.
Fuck yeah, dude.
It's great because it's just like, why is it that long? But it's such an amazing payoff that it's fucking incredible.
There's so many clips of him on like Letterman where he's just telling like a really long joke. He's just, you're like, where the fuck is this going, dude?
Yeah, dude. Did you see the one about the moth and the lamp?
Yeah.
You had to have seen that one. Yeah, that one's so... And he's just like going on and on about this moth in the doctor's office. And the doctor's like, dude, why are you even here? And he's like, oh, the light was on. It's so good, dude. Oh, my God.
He's great at that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude, that guy was the GOAT. Mm-hmm. He was the GOAT for sure.
I want him to come back to life just so we can talk about how he died.
Yeah.
I think it'd be great.
How did he die?
Cancer.
Oh, he had cancer. Yeah. Oh, what a bummer.
Mm-hmm.
That sucks. Bring like a Tupac hologram of him.
Yeah, I didn't watch his last special because it was like he was just recording it like sitting down in his like office. So it was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was like the last one he recorded. I guess it was during the pandemic, so he was just like recording from his like desk chair.
I think I saw the one before his last one where he talks about Germany. He's like, there's always one country that's always scared me, Germany. He's like, and I don't know if anyone here is a history buff, but there was one war where Germany declared war on everybody. It's just so dumb.
It was actually close.
Yeah, and they got close. He's like, yeah. He goes, you would think, oh, everybody would just beat the fuck out of Germany. He's like, but no, it was close. So funny. Oh, man. That's an interesting country, Germany. Because they did all that, and then, and now they're all low key.
Yeah.
You know?
Now it's illegal to be a Nazi.
It is.
Now it's illegal to be Kanye West.
It is. You think Kanye can go to Germany?
I don't know. It's a good question.
That is a good question. He's been saying a lot of shit.
I don't know if Germany knows what to do with black Nazis. I don't know if I know what to do with black Nazis.
I don't. Dude, can you believe that new song he put out? What the fuck?
He changed it to Hallelujah.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Why?
Because they wouldn't stream it anywhere. So he just edited Heil Hitler to Hallelujah.
Oh, my God.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. He sampled Adolf in that song. That song goes kind of hard.
I know, it's fucked.
It's crazy.
It's so bad, dude.
Yeah. I just wish...
Dude, if you showed anybody that... You think if you showed Kanye West that song 15 years ago and was like, this is you think he would be like, hell yeah? Or do you think he'd go, oh my God, what the fuck has happened to me?
I don't know, because he's always been very full of himself. So he might be like, this is the hardest shit I've ever heard in my life, you know?
He's like, hell yeah, dude. That's exactly what I wanted to get to. That's so crazy. So crazy. Definitely no way that's playing in Germany.
No, no way. I just wish he would like get it together enough to like put a good album together because he stopped forming albums and how he just makes songs and gets halfway through them and
I think
abandons them.
he's just won so hard that he can't even. I think it's just like boring to him now.
Yeah, I don't think he can focus on one thing for too long.
Yeah. Now he's just like, I don't even want to. It's just behind him. You know what I mean?
He's just wildly schizophrenic.
Yes, exactly. So now he's like, if I'm going to put anything out, it's going to be so fucking absurd, and I'm just going to try to make that work.
If I can't see my kids, I'm going to be a Nazi. Was the plot of the song?
Oh, really?
The song was like, I can't see my kids. Well, I guess Heil Hitler.
Oh,
But it's like, bro, you're the reason you can't see your kids.
yeah,
that's the whole thing. It's like you're complaining that you can't see your kids, and it's your fault.
That's crazy. Also, to be his kids,
Yeah.
and then you have to see your dad. Like everybody knows your dad's like that. That's fucked, dude.
But the thing is like obviously he's not an actual Nazi. Like he's just losing his
Obviously?
mind. He's like acting out because he's like, oh, people are mean to me, and he's like being like a victim. So he's like, well, I'm gonna be the biggest troll ever.
Oh, yeah, probably. It's kind of like a. Wow, that reminds me of like a school shooter.
A little bit.
You know what I mean? Like everyone's talking shit, so then fuck you guys.
Yeah.
But instead, it's a pop star who's like, everyone's talking shit. Fuck you all. I have the following. I'm gonna just put out crazy bullshit.
Yeah. He's like throwing a temper tantrum.
Exactly. Yeah, that's crazy. Nobody else has done that in history. Like a big famous singer that just was like, fuck it, I'm gonna start trolling.
Yeah, not that I know of.
Yeah.
Antonio Brown's kind of doing that, and he's also crazy.
Antonio Brown?
Yeah, he was a wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he's just kind of like lost his mind. He's on Twitter, and he has like N-word of the day, and he'll just like post different people, and he'll post like cracker of the day, and he had like Shane Gillis' cracker of the year. But
Shane Gillis is definitely cracker of the year, I think.
But he's just always done like crazy unhinged stuff. Like someone tried to rob him at like an event, and he just started like shooting at that person.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so he's just always been like doing. When he was a wide receiver in the NFL, he kept getting in trouble for like random things. And then he had like during his last game, he took all his clothes off on like the 50-yard line and just left in the middle of the game
With his balls out?
No, he still had like his
underwear?
Yeah, he still has underwear, but he took his whole uniform off.
That's kind of badass, I'm not going to lie.
It is kind of badass, but he's legit like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of like seeing people do shit like that because it's like, dang.
It's the coolest way to quit for sure.
Yeah, that's a cool way. Oh, did he quit?
Yeah, he quit the NFL like that.
Oh, that's fucking badass.
Yeah.
That's fucking tight.
But it's crazy.
Dude, that's like when someone quits at Domino's by like throwing a pizza on a wall or something.
He
and
was
just walking
legit
out.
like when he played, he was like the best receiver in the NFL for like a solid like I don't know 5 or so years.
Oh, why'd he quit?
Because he was just nuts.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Dude, crazy people with money are the worst. That's that's a really scary place to be.
Elon.
Yeah, that's another one. I had a friend who was telling me that he had someone in his life crazy as shit, very, very crazy, very, very rich, and you can't pay a doctor to tell them they're like. There's no way a doctor can diagnose that they're crazy because the money is just too like what. A doctor's note isn't going to work. You know what I mean? Like, they're a schizophrenic. Lock them up. Bring it in an asylum. It's like, no, dude, I'm rich. Like, you can always, the crazy person can always just pay money to stay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
And that's dangerous. It's like, it's crazy.
How do you get the money though?
I don't know. I think the mom was crazy, and I think the mom's dad invented the toaster strudel or some bullshit.
Oh shit, he got rich off the toaster strudel?
Yeah, something like that.
Damn.
And you know, I don't know if that was it exactly. Maybe he invented the vacuum cleaner. I don't know. It was
that seems to happen though. It's like a guy gets really successful and rich, and then it kind of like fucks up his kids.
Yes.
Or his kids' kids. Where
Yes.
it's like there's like the generations become like cursed
Right.
because I don't know what the reason. I guess you didn't you didn't use the money responsibly. I don't know. I don't know what causes that.
Exactly. But I think a rich person that's crazy is a scary combo. I don't think Elon is crazy. I think he's just a fucking nerd.
Yeah.
You ever talk to those people and you're like,
He could be a much worse person.
yes,
if you really wanted to.
Elon just reminds me of like that nerdy dude that talks too much and he thinks he's the shit, but he's still really nerdy.
Yeah, he's definitely trying to be cool. I think part of him buying Twitter was like, I want to be cool. Like he just wants attention.
Wants to be cool so bad, and it's gross. And it was China's most famous pop songs. And one of them was like, hey, I work hard. I went to school. I learned a lot. I got money. I make money. I try to support my family. It's like the lyrics were all not bad.
Like it was like a Will Smith song.
Exactly. But you can tell that it was kind of like propaganda. Like, go out there, make money, do well, bring power to the people. Yeah. And it's like, damn, that's what they're listening to over there. Is that better than what we're doing? Than fucking Kanye, fucking Hale, you know what I mean? But
that's a conspiracy as well that they've tried to control, like through rap lyrics, try to like, control people, or like just talking about like selling drugs and like violence, and just like
yeah, that is a conspiracy. I don't think that's true though. I think that these guys were living in Compton and they just had shit lives, and they were like, yeah, let's fucking rap.
I think that's real, like, because hip hop was like just reporting what they were seeing in their lives.
But I wouldn't doubt that there was so much money in the music that it started getting pushed out a lot more, and actually had a counter effect where then kids would hear this shit and be like, that's cool what that is. Like, this is the lyrics, or it's cool to be a fucking gangster. So I do agree that didn't help, but I don't think the government was actively pushing. Maybe they put some funding into it, maybe, because the government puts money into everything, and then people call it a conspiracy.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was like part of the actual government agenda to keep that going. Now, one thing I read, which apparently they did introduce cocaine and crack into the black community in Compton. That apparently is true. But at the same time, CIA was really deep into cocaine because of the whole, Colombia thing that was going on, like the Tom Cruise movie.
Blow.
Did you see it?
Yeah, great movie.
Yeah.
Have you heard of Freeway Rick Ross?
No.
That's who the rapper Rick Ross. He took his whole identity, but he was a real rapper, and they made a show called Snowfall. It's about the real guy, but he was a drug dealer in L.A., and the CIA like met with him. They supplied him with the drugs, with the coke, and he like cooked the crack, and they were using the funds to supply weapons to the Contras. And this was like back in the 80s when they introduced crack into the hood, and he was making like, I forget the amount he said, but it was like tens of millions of dollars like a week.
That's crazy.
And he didn't know how to read. And he was just like
crazy,
making insane money. Eventually he gets busted. I guess after they don't need him anymore. I don't know the full details.
Dude, when I hear shit like this, all I can think is like, man, dude, wealth is just getting lucky. That's all it is, man.
In a sense, yeah. But that was also like, he was an entrepreneur. He had to hustle. But anyway, the cool shit about this story is he went to prison, didn't have like a high school education. He became like a lawyer in prison. Like he read everything he needed to read, and he ended up getting out. And now he's like been on like podcast tours. He's traveling around like talking to kids and shit. So he's like completely like reformed himself.
Don't do drugs.
Yeah, it's wild.
Even though it made me $10 million a week.
Yeah.
How do you make that argument? Fuck.
It's crazy.
Me selling drugs led me to the position that I'm in now to be able to tell you you shouldn't do drugs. and I have millions of dollars. I guess he did go to jail. So,
But the show Snowfall, it's on Hulu. If you're into drug shows,
yeah,
it's pretty dope. I watched every season.
Snowfall sounds like Skyfall, like the 007. Yeah, yeah. I watched Narcos.
I never finished that one.
I never finished it, but I did watch it. It was good. And then I don't think I watched many other drug shows. I don't know. Drug shows are always kind of the same to me.
Yeah.
Like even Scarface is kind of a boring movie to me.
Yeah, I've seen Scarface so many times. Breaking Bad, I've seen like 5
Breaking Bad, I think, is fantastic.
times. Yeah.
I think that one's a little better because it's not about just some guy that's like, oh, I need to make money and sell drugs. And then, that classic story. It's about a dude who went from suburban life to that. And I think that's more compelling.
Yeah, that's true. American Gangster was another great drug movie. You already mentioned
Oh,
both
with
already.
Denzel and he goes to Vietnam. Yeah, that one's good. That one is very good. I just like any Denzel movie.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Dude, the what was it? The Apprentice? No, not Apprentice. Training Day.
Training Day, yeah.
Dude,
One of the best.
Training Day is so good. You're gonna do this to me? Mm-hmm. You're gonna do this to me? Jay.
Cops are always so cool in cop movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, they always have an unmarked car that's nice as hell. They never wear a badge.
That's a
They're
detective.
just doing whatever the fuck they want.
Dude, when you're a detective in a cop movie, yeah, you walk in with a coat
Yeah.
and it's just like it's pretty hot outside and he's just got this big ass trench coat. Smoke a cig.
Every cop movie, the main guy just does whatever the fuck he wants, and his boss is like, "Yo, I'm gonna bend over a barrel here."
Yeah.
And he's like, "I don't care about it. I'm gonna do what the fuck I want.
I do what I want. Chief, fuck you, Chief. Chief, fuck you.
I'm gonna solve the case my way."
I told you to drop this case weeks ago. Fuck you, bitch.
I want a report on my desk.
What about a mother? The mother deserves to know. We got bigger cases coming in from the mayor's office.
See, for as much as like,
And he pulls out a photo of the little girl. I'm doing this for her, Chief.
I like this. I imagine you're Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah? You think I could do a Mark Wahlberg? Mm-hmm. You seen The Departed?
The Departed.
The Departed.
I love that they say Departed in the movie.
Yeah. You think I'd be a Mark Wahlberg in The Departed? Mm-hmm. Kind of mean. That makes me sound mean.
Everyone's a rat.
I love that scene. Oh my God, that scene is so good. Actually, best scene of that whole movie is when Mark Wahlberg comes out at the end with the fucking pistol.
That is crazy. It's crazy how many people get capped in like 2 minutes.
I know, dude. It's fucking awesome. I also love the second-hand man to Jack Nicholson, the Irish guy. And he's in the flaming car, and it's like about to explode. And he's like, fucking goddamn it. And he pulls the pistol out and just blows his brains out. And I'm like, dude, what a way to go. Like a hero's death. Yeah, that's a great fucking movie. Mm-hmm. I'm doing this for her, Chief. What's another good movie? I like, the girl in that movie was hot. The psychiatrist.
I'd have to see it again.
Oh, man. Where Leo walks in and he's like, what if that was an actual threat I made on my own life? You're just going to fucking shrug that off? He's like, fuck you. I don't need this therapy. Mm-hmm. And she runs out and she's like, no way. You don't remember her?
I can't picture it right now.
She was in The Conjuring.
Conjuring, okay.
The one with the nun. And she's like, and her husband's supporting her and she's fucking finding ghosts and shit.
She's like the main girl, like the couple that's ghost hunters?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's good. I like her.
Yeah, well, she's pasty white, so I guess that's against your.
Yeah, I'm imagining
MO.
she was probably hotter in Departed than she is in Conjuring.
In The Conjuring, she wasn't that hot.
Yeah. I agree.
Woman from The Departed.
Woman from The Departed.
The Departed. Yeah, this girl.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Look at that. With the finger over the lip. It's like, come on, she's gorgeous. Right there. Look at that.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan, but she's attractive.
Right there, very attractive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Harvard.
Harvard Law.
Harvard Law. I do like Ben Affleck. Not Ben Affleck.
You love Ben Affleck.
Matt Damon. I fucking hate Ben Affleck.
Shout out Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck. I think the thing about Ben Affleck, all the way back to that full circle, is I feel like any movie where he does a good job, they were like, hey, can you just be an asshole? And then that's what we need. We just need a character that's an asshole. And he's like, oh, I'll just be myself. And then he does well. But any movie where he actually has to act, he just looks like shit. I don't know.
I can't think of any other examples.
Gone Girl. You ever seen Gone Girl? That's a fantastic movie.
That was a great movie.
It's a fantastic movie.
He did well.
He did well because they were like, just be an asshole. And he was. And he...
But he was the good guy.
No, he wasn't. He was an asshole.
He got framed.
He was cheating on his wife. He was an asshole.
Oh, you're not an asshole just because you cheat on your wife sometimes. Right?
The insecure, right? Right, guys? Fellas? No, I mean, he was undeniably a dick in that movie, but she was also fucking crazy as shit. Like, he's an asshole. She's also a crazy bitch, but he was still an asshole. You know what I mean? What she did doesn't excuse what he did.
Yeah, you're right. I guess you could be an asshole.
Yeah,
I'll accept that.
He was a normal, everyday asshole, and then she went like, holy fucking hell, you're a demon.
Normal asshole.
Yes, he was a normal asshole, but I think that's what he is. To me, he just looks like a normal asshole. Like, that guy's kind of a dick, you know?
What did Ben Affleck do to you?
Yeah, I really like J-Lo, and I think just watching him just pull that...
She looks great for her age.
Oh, she looks fantastic. And they keep trying to make it work, and he keeps just being an asshole, dude. He's a fucking asshole, bro.
Yeah. J-Lo.
Like, J-Lo's up there. J-Lo's got that fucking... She's got those TNTs, bro. Is that in your ballpark? You're a J-Lo fan?
Oh, yeah, of course. Of
course,
I'm a J-Lo fan.
Yeah.
Always and forever.
Yeah?
Yep.
Who's your big Latina mommy? What's the big one?
Salma Hayek. She's the best. She's the greatest of all time.
Someone in town did a sketch about Salma Hayek recently. Did you see that?
I watched it like yesterday.
Yeah. The Salma Hayek party? Yeah. That's funny. I like that. I do like her. But she's not in enough movies.
Yeah. She was in the last season of Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Big old titties.
Bit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's dope.
Positively.
Yeah.
Indubitably, I dare say.
I do say so myself. I think we should call it.
Yeah, calling is good.
I think we're petering out.
Yeah, we Oh, I see your dog now.
Yeah, there she is.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Well, this was good.
Is that what I look like?
That's what you look like.
Fuck.
Fuck. No, you look fine. Why? What's wrong with it?
Can we just edit me out?
All right. We'll cut you out right now.
All right.
All right. Peace.